Central Park in beautiful New York. And a gorgeous night for baseball in Citi Field. The Cardinals and the Mets, a two-game series begins tonight. Flashback to tonight's starter in '07, Joel Pinheiro, a makeup game in late September in Shea. This win was parlayed into a 2-year contract extension for Pinheiro, and it knocked the Mets basically out of the playoff picture. Welcome to the broadcast booth, and welcome to Baseball Tonight. Al Hrabosky, Dan McLaughlin, and you think about the recent homestand. Yeah, there were some good offensive moments, but really it was defined by pitching. The Cardinals pitching staff has been very good on the homestand and basically all year long.
Well, these starters have been doing quite the job. They are outstanding. Look at Carpenter, Wainwright, and Pinheiro, all in the top of the National League leaders in ERA. And Carpenter right at the top, but Pinheiro, tonight's starter, is well under 3. And we remember the last time he was here, a career best 3-hit shutout against the Mets.
So Pinheiro gets the start tonight for the Cardinals. When we come back, we'll talk about Johan Santana, 1 win away from 13. The lefty goes to the Mets. We'll break down his year when we come back.
Well, I think everyone knows he's got the great changeup. He pounds the heater end on, pounds that fastball in on righties, obviously, to set up the changeup away, and he's been pretty successful at doing it for quite a while now. So he's a tough one. We're gonna have to battle, but like I said, we got Pinheiro going tonight, and he's been pitching outstanding. Hopefully, our lineup can get him some runs.
Well, since he has come in the National League from Minnesota, Johan Santana, one of the best in the business. Tough chore for those hitters of the Cardinals tonight.
Exactly right. He's great in the second half and here at home. And it's all about fastball command to set up that changeup.
When we come back, we'll preview tonight's game. It's game number 1 of this 2-game series. The Mets and the Cardinals coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Outfielder Matt Holliday has given the Cardinals and their fan base a jolt. The most recent homestand was one of the best of the season, and it was filled with dynamic plays and late-inning heroics. From the defense of shortstop Brendan Ryan to a rookie named Colby that kept the Cardinals' hopes alive with a broken bat single. And the always steady and reliable Ryan Franklin closing out wins. It has added up to a winning formula and given the Cardinals a chance for postseason play with 2 months to go in the regular season. Now it's back on the road for the Redbirds as they play All-Star David Wright and the New York Mets. Manager Tony La Russa will send right-hander Joel Pinheiro to the mound. This season, Pinheiro has already faced the Mets and went the distance at Citi Field in one of the best pitched games of the year. Some of the biggest names in baseball will be on display tonight on one of the grandest stages in the world, New York City. It's Albert Pujols, David Wright, Matt Holliday. Game 1 starts now on Fox Sports Midwest. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light. With just the right taste that never fills you up, the difference is drinkability. By Steak & Shake, famous for steak burgers. By Auto Tire, for the lowest prices in town, we shop the competitors so you don't have to. By Chevy, see your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by the State of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Arriving off the train and heading to Citi Field here in New York, where it's a nice night for baseball and a brief 2-game series between the Mets and Tony La Russa's St. Louis Cardinals. The Mets have struggled this year, and much of that can be attributed to the numerous injuries that they have suffered here this season. A look at Tony La Russa's lineup. Skip Schumacher, the second baseman, will lead it off, and they will face one of the best in Johan Santana. Mark DeRosa is your third baseman. The struggling first baseman, Albert Pujols. Matt Holliday, red hot, he's in left field. Ryan Ludwig, the National League Player of the Month for July. Yadier Molina is your catcher. Rick Ankiel in center field. Julio Lugo at shortstop, hitting .342. And the pitcher, Joel Pinheiro, is batting 9th. To mention, he is tough and one of the best, as Jerry Manuel will send Johan Santana to the mound. And Jerry Manuel sees his club at 29-24 at home, but overall they are 50-55. Since he was acquired, Johan Santana with 28 wins wearing that Mets uniform, and his numbers are brought to you by Marshall Wireless.
Well, you see the good ERA, the 12-8 record, He's one of the best ever in the second half, 60-18 with a 2.68 ERA after the All-Star break. And here at home, well, since he's been wearing the Met uniform, 14-2 in an ERA, just slightly over 1.5.
The defense behind Santana tonight, as always, a presentation of Auto Tire. Gary Sheffield, Angel Pagan, and Jeff Francoeur, the former Brave. David Wright, Alex Cora, Luis Castillo, and Daniel Murphy, and Johan Santana and Omir Santos, the battery tonight for the New York Mets. Crowd still filing in here to Citi Field in New York. U.S. Open, the tennis U.S. Open. That stadium is not too far away, and they're just about getting set for that. But baseball's still on their minds right now, with the Yankees playing great baseball over the American League. But this team now, because of the injuries, they really have struggled this season.
You're right, Dan. They've just been decimated by injuries, and it's not just one or two guys. It's their key core players, with the exception of Santana.
So Santana will deliver to Skip Schumacher, and the first pitch is a strike, and that's our Domino's first pitch of the game. Schumacher on the year is hitting .294, 3 home runs and 25 RBIs. And again, Santana, he's got a couple of base hits in 6 at-bats. That's hard hit to the second baseman. Castillo has it, spins and throws over to Daniel Murphy, and that's how we start the ball game. First man retired.
Got that great speed, and now he's healthy, so he can make those plays defensively. And he's been quite an offensive tier.
Here's Mark DeRosa. Not many of these Cardinal hitters have very good numbers against Santana. They're not alone. That's pretty much the case with all of baseball. DeRosa 1 for 9 against Johan Santana, who works from that third base side of the rubber. And the reason that he does that, wants to establish that fastball in on the hands of the right-hander.
Well, like Ryan Ludwig said, you know, it's all about fastball command, but you want to pound inside, and then his bread and butter pitch is the changeup away.
DeRosa hits it in the air, pops it up to shallow left field. Gary Sheffield under it, makes the catch, 2 away. And it brings in Albert Pujols.
You mentioned struggling. It just doesn't sound right.
And he said after the game Sunday, in which he went 0 for 3 with a walk, he said, guys, I'm human. In talking to the reporters that had circled around his locker in the clubhouse back home in St. Louis, and he was asked about his elbow. Is that a concern? He said, at this point, no excuses. I've got to be better, and right now I'm just in a rut.
He was hitless in the series versus Houston, only the 5th time in his career he's had a 3-game series or more hitless.
And the first pitch is a fastball in there for a strike. We've seen Santana hit 88 and 89 so far with that fastball when he was at his best. I guess you could say his best in the American League velocity wise. It was around 94, 95, which then really set up the outstanding changeup that he possesses.
And that's one he just threw right there on the outside part of the plate. Got the uncanny ability to keep that in a very good location down and away.
0-2 pitch. Pujols, a fly ball into shallow right center field. Good start for Johan Santana. Joel Pinheiro to the mound as we come back. Mets and Cardinals, game 1 of this 2-game series from Citi Field, and Johan Santana made quick work of the Cardinals in the top of the first. And let's take a look at the Mets lineup. Pagan, Castillo, and David Wright. Gary Sheffield, Daniel Murphy, Jeff Francoeur, who's off to a good start with the Mets, Alex Cora, Omir Santos, and Johan Santana, .094 hitter. Joel Pinheiro record does not indicate just how well he has pitched, as he is 9-9 this season. But if you really break down the numbers, he could be about a 15-16 game winner.
No doubt about it. Look at the 2.84 ERA, better than Santana's and amongst the league leaders, and he's had the Mets number 3-0.
Here's a chopper left side, and with the third baseman DeRosa playing in, it's a base hit. Defense behind Pinheiro tonight. Holiday and Keel and Ludwig in the outfield. This is brought to you by Auto Tire. DeRosa, Lugo, Schumacher, and Pujols. Battery tonight, Joel Pinheiro and Yadier Molina. Angel Pagan returned from the disabled list on July 10th, and normally you'd see at the top of the lineup Jose Reyes. That is not the case, and Jerry Manuel is even saying that if Reyes was healthy right now, Pagan would be his leadoff man, and he would drop down Jose Reyes, who is dealing with a tear in his hamstring.
Probably because it's a leg injury. You keep Pagan there, who's hit well over 300 in the last 26 games. Castillo's making a difference where he's come back.
He's a switch hitter, 4 for 16 against Pinheiro. This might be the toughest battery in baseball to steal against when you talk about Pinheiro and Yadier Molina. Looking at the stats, there have been no stolen bases against Pinheiro this season. That is remarkable.
Yadi has a lot to do with it, but it's also several of the Cardinals. Carpenter fits into that realm. Franklin, Pinheiro, they're very quick feet, and they really pay attention to that base runner. Don't let them get a good lead.
Short lead by Pagan.
Just keep them honest there. If they can't get a good jump, then Yadi will take care of the rest.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if Carol Buck is watching and listening tonight, but certainly the Cardinal family here in New York, our thoughts with her, as for many of the folks that view us around the country may or may not have heard, her house burned down last night, in the middle of the night. Thank goodness Carol Buck was okay. Barehanded by DeRosa, out at first. That's the main thing. Carol Buck is okay, but our thoughts and prayers certainly with the Buck family. So sacrifice good for Castillo, and it brings in David Wright.
Close to playing in, you have one of the best runners in the game. This time running not for a base hit, but for the sacrifice, and he advances Pagan. You might look at this scoring, and even here in the first inning, they're going to play for one run because that may be the difference in this game.
So then I ask you this, would you pitch to David Wright, or would you rather deal with Sheffield with 2 on? Good question, because then you could set up the potential double play with him.
And you know that when Pinheiro is on, he just gets ground ball after ground ball.
And the thing that you think about with this lineup, as banged up as it is, who do you want to face? No Delgado, no Reyes right now, and David Wright hits it into right field. That's a base hit. They hold up Pagan at third base, and Wright is safe at first. They almost got him. There's another reason you hit the cutoff.
Yes, it is. Well, you don't have to walk him, but your scenario is there for you. And you still can escape this without them scoring. You just have to get the double play with the runner at third base. But David Wright, one of the hot hitters, we were here a month ago, he was really tailing off. But he's 70 plus on the homestand, and he almost rounds his bag a little bit too far. Very alert. Albert Pujols once again. Not be swinging the bat, but he's got his head in the game.
Coming into this ball game tonight, Joel Pinheiro, 73% ground ball rate. Think about that, 73%.
It's the best in the National League.
Sheffield looks at his strike. Now he has 10 home runs, and those 10 home runs, the most in this lineup for the Mets. Not a lot of power.
1 for 6 on the homestand, but hitting just under 350. In his last 24 starts. Spending time on the disabled list.
Still has that quick bat. Wiggles it, and then all of a sudden he's got that explosive swing, and he put a couple into the second deck during batting practice here at Citi Field. Here is Sheffield, fewest home runs by the team leader, and it's Sheffield of the Mets with 10. And it's even worse when you think about what they've done here at home. I mean, their home run leaders at this ballpark are few and far between.
Big ballpark here.
Here's your ground ball, hit left side. DeRosa to second, out there on to first, double play. 5-4-3 on the double play. If you're traveling and can't catch the Cardinals TV broadcast, catch all the action on your computer at MLB.tv. And you can catch over 100 live out-of-market games per week. For complete details, visit STLCardinals.com, where baseball is always on. Fans still filing into Citi Field. Big crowd expected here tonight. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Midwest. Matt Holliday leads it off for the Cardinals. Alley had 13 hits in his first 22 at-bats at Busch Stadium. Now that's one way to endear yourself to the home fans. 13 hits.
Well, all I know is he was hitting. It was a hitting machine until we turned it over to Jay and Ricky.
It's all their fault.
It's all their fault. They took it over Sunday.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Talking with the players on the flight from St. Louis to New York yesterday, many of them talked about how that particular homestand was taxing physically, mentally, the grind of a very tough series against the Dodgers, and then taking the first two in tight games against Houston. By the time Sunday came around, you know, you had some pretty tired players, Matt Holliday being one of them.
Well, I'm sure it was highly emotional for Matt. His first series at home, but I think it was a memorable one that he will never forget. And he's a very likable guy. Fits in very well. Midwestern values. Just, I think Tony would love to see him as long as he's wearing that uniform. See Matt Holliday and Pujols wearing the same.
Here's a 2-2 pitch to Holliday. The Cardinals really got him at the right time, not just waiting till the very last minutes of the trade deadline, but Matt Holliday, since the break, leads all of baseball in batting average at .471, and he also leads in RBIs with 21. There's that changeup on a 3-2 pitch and the first strikeout for Johan Santana.
You know you're going to get that changeup, and he doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but you can see that his arm action is exactly the same on the fastball. He just has that ability to spot that ball, but the whole key is the fastball location. Does he have enough consistently to move it the fastball inside so it gets you out of way with the changeup?
Ludwig, left field, well hit, at the wall, gone, home run off the facade beyond the left field wall. Ryan Ludwig, the National League's Player of the Week and month, which was announced earlier today, hits his 18th home run and his 67th RBI.
And Dan, that's a prime example. We just talked about fastball command. He wants to throw the fastball in. This pitch is out over the middle of the plate, so he doesn't get it where he wants it. And Ryan Ludwig and all Cardinals have to be ready for that fastball, and he was.
And there's a strike to Yadier Molina. Long home run off the bat of Ludwig. Player of the month as he hit .340 in July with 6 home runs. At a league high 28 RBIs. Shortstop can take his time. Alex Cora. Well, the Cardinals have had the National League's top player in 3 of the first 4 months, with Pujols winning the award both in April and June. And July goes to the Cardinal outfielder Ryan Ludwig.
Great numbers, and you hope he just continues that. And you want to get as many of these guys swinging the bat. But isn't it remarkable with the great homestand, and that's not only through the turnstiles, but record-wise, that, you know, that Albert was human, and yet his teammates, you know, were able to get the job done. Very close games, but phenomenal pitching.
Let me ask you what would have been unthinkable a month ago. If you're the opposing manager, you're in a tight spot. Would you rather face Pujols right now as opposed to Holliday or even Ludwig to an extent?
I think Tejada said it best. If you walk Pujols, Russ will walk Holliday too. Because, you know, he was so hot. No one trusts the numbers if they are not good numbers against Albert. They're saying it's the do factor. And then Holliday being so hot, you know, you saw Joe Torre walk both of them in one game, and that worked to bring up Ankiel.
Rick is 1 for 3 against Santana. 2 outs, nobody on. On deck, Julio Lugo. 1-0 Cardinals. Johan Santana, since he arrived in New York, has 28 wins and a 2.69 ERA. 08 and part of 09, which is second best in the National League since that time. There's the changeup and a swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Santana in the game and in this inning. Ryan Ludwig with his 18th home run. No doubt about it. 1-0 Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, and Fox Sports Midwest have joined together to encourage young people not to smoke. Call the Missouri Tobacco Quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Daniel Murphy, the first baseman, then Jeff Rancourt, And Alex Cora, their shortstop, here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 Cardinals on Ryan Ludwig's home run. He had broken his bat in a foul ball. Ryan Ludwig talked about it before the game, where it was just a matter of getting his timing back. And I know that Al, you mentioned it a number of times where he did not take that rehab assignment where he could have, it would have, could have helped his timing when he first came back. And all of a sudden, when you get a rut, and he was in a rut when he first came back, he really got into a hole. But now he's crawled out of it and is swinging the bat quite well. Here's the ground ball. Schumacher off his glove into right field for a base hit.
Going back to Ludwig, going back to when he started the season, he had a 21-game hitting streak going, dating back to late last season, beginning of this season. He took a little spell, then he had the hamstring problem. It really took him about 2 months to get his timing back, but with a great start, his production numbers weren't that bad. It was the batting average, and now both of them are starting to look pretty impressive.
Jeff Francoeur has been impressive so far for the Mets. 19 RBIs in his 20 games with New York. It's the second highest total over a player's first 20 games with the Mets. Bernard Gilkey, the St. Louisan, had 21 in his first 20 games back in 1996. But as you know, he is a free swinger. Anything that's close to the strike zone, he is swinging away. That's been one of the problems with the Mets this year. Lines it into right center field. Ludwig over, makes the catch. And Murphy has to retreat back to first. Good play by Ryan Ludwig to track it down.
You could just see that ball hanging up long enough for Ludwig with his good jump to get underneath it and haul in that line drive. When Pinero's on, you're really going to see only ground balls. That ball's up a little bit too high for him. There you see Ludwig track it down. Murphy was pretty much going out there and was surprised and was tracked down, but gets back relatively easy.
Well, we talked about how they love to swing. I mean, they don't take a lot of pitches. They had 145 plate appearances in the just completed 4-game series against Arizona. As you get a look at Cora, and that pitch is a strike. In only 2 of them did a Mets batter face more than 6 pitches. It's a pretty telling stat, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're up there anything close to the strike zone and swinging and trying to put the ball in play. And that just missed inside. Pinheiro doesn't walk many and does not give up many home runs.
That is what's amazing. Is, nobody steals off him. Nobody gets any free passes. He keeps the ball in the ballpark, and he gets 70% plus times he gets ground ball. That's a pretty good combination to win.
Here's a 1-1 pitch with the runner going, and it's foul. For Jerry Manuel, you don't have a big risk factor in starting the runner because you're just trying to get some type of offense going, and you know that he can get the ground balls. As you see, our Toyota keys to the game, and that stolen base percentage tied for first, ground ball percentage first in the league. He has just had a terrific year for the Cardinals, but yet the record only at 9-9.
He's got the least amount of run support of your 5 normal starters.
Here's a liner into left center. Holiday can't make the catch. Didn't take a great route to the ball, and it drops in front, and Cora's aboard with a base hit.
I think you're right, Dan. I think that he thought that ball was going to get more into the gap, but slicing back towards him. And you see Murphy thinks it's going to be caught, so he can only go 90 feet. And he does a nice job to keep it in front of him.
Omir Santos, the catcher, and then the pitcher on deck in Santana. The Mets, by the way, have homered in each of their last 5 games. Second longest home run streak of the season for the Mets. They had 7 games in mid-May. But it is their longest at Citi Field. See the pitch count only at 17 for Pinheiro, and now he hits Santos. Bases loaded for Johan Santana.
not what he wanted to do. And Santana will come up here, and Emmanuel's hoping he doesn't get into a ground ball double play.
Daniel Murphy with a base hit. Cora with a single that dropped in front of the left fielder Holiday. And now Santos, the catcher, hit by a pitch, and know your face over there. At first base, the first base coach, Luis Alicea.
He's the former #1 draft pick of the Cardinals, Florida State. Ian Figueroa, his double play partner, was also, I think, #2 that year. Luis has been around a long time. You know.
Bases loaded, 1 out for Santana.
Figueroa's already allowed more hits in this game than he did his last time pitching at Citi Field, where he hit the 3-hit shutout.
Go back to,
two-hit shutout.
That's right, to 2004. Santana leads the majors and wins with 98, over 1,300 strikeouts since the beginning of 04. ERA is under 3. Cardinals 0 with a 1-0 lead. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Santana's won more games than any Venezuelan-born pitcher in Major League history.
Just past Freddie Garcia.
Yeah, and once again, he's 60 and 18. 60 and 18 in the second half of seasons, or after the All-Star break.
20 pitches so far, and 14 have been strikes for Joel Pinheiro. There's another one.
Keeps that ball there, he'll start getting his ground ball out.
Well, you think about it, the first guy that reached, Murphy, in this inning, it was playable for Schumacher. The other ball that was hit to Holiday could have been caught, so he very well could be out of this inning.
And even if you're a sinker ball pitcher, you know, it still takes you a little time to get going. Most runs he gives up in an inning is the first.
Hit out of play. 1-2 the count.
Once he gets locked in, finds that good release point. That's why it was important for the Cardinals to jump on Santana and get a lead.
And a 1-2 pitch. Santana, left center. And that ball is a one-hopper off the top of the wall. 2 runs will score, and the Mets have the lead. Johan Santana, not noted for his hitting, he comes through. 2-1 Mets.
Second and third RBIs of the season. Only his 4th hit. And he hit it in a perfect spot. Down and away, still elevated just a little bit. Gets underneath it, plugs a gap out in left center, and then it bounces and nearly goes over the wall. And the Mets catch a break by it not doing so.
Brings in Pagan, who singled his first time up. Runners at second and third. Minimize the damage here with Santana on the mound. Have to stay close. Pagan with a fly ball. Holiday backs up to make the catch. He didn't look comfortable there either. Run scores to make it 3-1 as Santos makes it 3-1 New York. RBI number 14 for Pagan. Here's Castillo's sacrifice, first time up. Mentioned that Jose Reyes, who normally would be at the top of their lineup, had a setback last week, trying to come back from that hamstring injury, the tear in the hamstring. So right now the Mets have to do it with guys like Castillo and David Wright, and Gary Sheffield in the middle of their lineup.
There's opportunities to newcomers, and some guys will make the most of it. Other guys will find out they'll play themselves out of the big leagues.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Mets are thinking wild card. If they can somehow get healthy and get on a tear here in the final couple of months of this regular season at 50 and 55, and it looks like the Phillies will run away with the division. Here's a 1-1. But you have to hope for something.
Yeah.
You got to play for something.
You got to play for something, and the wild card is a salvation to a lot of clubs. But the Cardinals are very hopeful that the Mets cannot play themselves back into the wild card contention.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Charging Schumacher. He gloves and throws out. Johan Santana, though, with the big hit at the bottom of the second with the bases loaded. A double that scores 2. It's 3-1. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By the Casino Queen Hotel and Casino, home of the losers slots. And better set your alarm. Sausage burritos are just $1.19 only at McDonald's. Julio Lugo, the Cardinals shortstop, leads it off tonight. Brendan Ryan is still dealing with that sore foot and ankle following a ball off his foot last week in the homestand. So Lugo leads it off, and then Pinheiro and Skip Schumacher. And I know, talking with Brendan, he was hoping that he would be back by Sunday, but that was wishful thinking, because here we are on Tuesday following the off day and still is unavailable to play.
And I got the impression, talking with Brendan today,
Lugo, a base hit into left field past Sheffield. Julio on his way to second base. Nearly missed the bag at first, but he did touch it and winds up at second with a leadoff double. He's really provided a spark too.
Well, he sure has. And the elbow pad here. Let's watch this ball set up away, and the ball doesn't quite get out there. Pulls it down in the corner. Sheffield, 500 home run club, and with some of his nagging leg injuries and everything, can take advantage of him. There you see where he almost had the misstep at first, but there was some talk that it may be until Friday on Brendan Ryan.
So Lugo winds up at second, and now it's Pinheiro, who has 4 sacrifices on the year. He's hitting .186. He does own 3 RBIs. Good bunt. Only play for Murphy is to go to first. Sacrifice is good. Castillo covering. Harley owners can purchase discounted tickets and ride in a special pregame parade around the field. It's Hog Days at Busch Stadium, Saturday, August 15th against the Padres. For more information, visit stocardinals.com/hogdays or call 314-345-9500. A lot of promotions coming up for that San Diego series, which begins on August 14th, a Friday night. That's the All-Star Banner Night. Then if you own a Harley, come on down on Saturday. And Sunday is the picture frame day as well. So a lot of giveaways coming up in the upcoming homestand with San Diego. Here's Skip Schumacher, grounded out to second, first time up. Breaks his back. There was an article in USA Today about broken bats, and Major League Baseball has done a study, and they say it's down.
You agree with it?
No, I was
don't
about
either.
to bring this up. They say it's down by 30%.
Yeah.
And to me, it's the same that we saw a year ago. I go back to even a game we had last week. Remember all the bats that went flying into the crowd?
Yeah, it may be down, but I didn't think anywhere near that. And you're right, that last homestand, we saw several go into the stands, and pretty dangerous.
Schumacher fights it off. Santana won't get it. Skip isn't running.
It's a fair ball.
It's a fair ball, and he is out.
Skip, you can tell he rarely will ever do that, and totally mad at himself because he had a sure base hit if he just came out of the batter's box.
I wonder if he just
I
thought
think,
that he fouled it away.
I think he thought that it was, did have any ideas. He got like jammed, had no idea where it was going. Great effort by Santana. Knocks it into fair territory, and there you see Skip with his patented slide. But here's where you'll see he doesn't come out. I think he just
he's
had
looking
no
behind.
look. Yeah, he had absolutely no idea and assumed that that ball was behind him. And you can see he totally mad at himself. And You know, that's a rarity you never see from Skip Schumacher.
He obviously,
Right.
in watching that, thought it was a foul ball behind home plate. He's looking back. He's trying to find the ball, not realizing it was out in front, because he would never do that.
Right.
So here's DeRosa with a runner at third. Cardinals need a 2-out hit. DeRosa fly to shallow left his first time up. 3-1 Mets. DeRosa represents the tying run. Mentioned during our open how the Cardinals struggled offensively against Houston. They only hit .239 as a team. DeRosa down the left field line, but foul. Ten of 11 first pitch strikes for the former Minnesota Twin, now at the Mets, Johan Santana.
27 pitches, 22 of which have been in the strike zone.
It's 79 degrees, but it's a warm, muggy night here at Citi Field in New York.
Here comes his patented changeup.
0-2 pitch. And a strikeout at DeRosa. 3 on the night for Santana. Saturday afternoons were made for baseball, and this week Fox brings you the national game of the week. Jason Bay and the Red Sox head to the Bronx, and they'll take on Mark Teixeira and the Yankees. It's a showdown between bitter AL East rivals. Fox Saturday baseball this week at 3, and it's only on Fox. The Expressway just outside Citi Field, still busy as you might imagine here in New York. Here's David Wright. First pitch, a strike at the knees. Wright, Sheffield, and Murphy. Anyways, David Wright, the face of this franchise, hitting .323, only 7 home runs, 52 RBIs. Now they do say, with the temperatures having been a little bit hotter up east, that the ball is flying more in this ballpark. But beginning of the season, no home runs hit. Fly ball out to Wright. Ryan Ludwig is there to make the catch.
Well, when we were here a month ago, David Wright, who had 30-plus home runs, 34 home runs a year ago, had 5. He's got 7 now, with the 4th best batting average in the National League.
I want to remind folks that our next homestand begins next Monday as Scott Rowland and the Reds make their way to St. Louis.
See where Scott Rowland got plunked in the head by Jason Marquis.
Yeah, and Marquis' reaction told it all. He obviously wasn't trying to hit him, and Rowland was helped off the field. He struggled in his first few games with the Reds, and he kind of gave a wave to Marquis as if to say, I know you weren't meaning it. It's just part of the game.
Set out apparently yesterday with a headache, but it's no concussion, and so we'll get to see Scotty playing third base in St. Louis.
And Monday night is a half-price night. Terrace or pavilion reserve seat. You can get that for 50% off, and a family of 4 before school starts up. You could head to the ballpark next Monday for just $30. We hope you take advantage of that. Every game of this last homestand was sold out.
Sold out, and I mean, not just simple sellout. I mean, 45,000, 43 to 45,000 plus every game, and you know, Holiday and the guys paid attention to that. That was quite impressive showing by the fans.
2-1 pitch up the middle. Backhanded by Schumacher, but no play. Base hit for Gary Sheffield, who bounced into a double play his first time up. Don't forget about StubHub. Great way to get your seats. The only site with Fan Protect guarantee. StubHub, the ticket marketplace.
Dan talking about tickets and talking about fans. John Mozeliak told you that they had a nice compliment to the fans, and really said that because of them going through the turnstiles, it allowed him to get Holiday and DeRosa, Lugo, make those trades to improve this ball club.
Yeah, one of the things that he said is the fans have done their job. Now it's time for us to do ours, which I thought was great for him to say. And I know he's very appreciative of the way the fans have come out, along with the entire front office. I mean, it's got to just make a huge impression on Matt Holliday when he gets a standing O and sees 45,000 every night.
Yeah, all the employees were very happy to be busy.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Daniel Murphy. Fouled back.
Murphy, a lot of playing time with Delgado injured.
Daniel Murphy earlier this season at Busch Stadium slipped in left field, which cost the Mets a victory. That was at Busch Stadium in St. Louis in left field. And Murphy is by trade a third baseman. Fly out to Ankiel in center. They're trying to get him to play first, and Murphy is 1 for 2 with the run scored, and it brings in Jeff Francoeur.
Just not seeing the ground balls that we're accustomed to seeing for Pinheiro, but that's not to say that it won't come from this point forward.
Yeah, the Mets and Braves have had a heated rivalry in the last decade or so, and yet here's one of their homegrown guys, literally Jeff Francoeur, now wearing a Mets uniform. Those kind of trades can't be easy to make. Trading within your division with a rival.
And Ryan Church going to Atlanta. But you're right, especially when you talk about a home, Atlanta-based product.
1-0 pitch. Ground ball to Julio Lugo. Underhands to Schumacher, and that sends us to the 4th. Big bats coming up. Pujols, Holiday, and Ludwig. 3-1 Mets. What would happen if Albert Pujols faced Bob Gibson, or if Dizzy Dean pitched to Stan the Man? Find out about the greatest Cardinal teams of all time. Who will be the greatest Cardinals team ever? Get simulated games on Tuesday nights following our ball game on U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live. So find out later tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. Here's Albert Pujols.
Dan, I've seen enough. It's 0 for his last 13. That's about enough.
Last home run was 15 games ago.
No, it's about this pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now, I talked to Hal McRae before the game. He said, watch his front shoulder. He said, we really feel he's been pulling off of pitches and opening up way too quickly. Turn on that pitch, but foul.
A little too quickly.
He said a lot of times Albert's been getting himself out with the pitches on the outer half.
And really, Dan, a lot of pitchers, and you kind of look at Oswalt was telling the young man, and see that ball's out over the plate. That ball he always keeps fair.
Pujols, that's good to see, going to right field there. Base hit to right.
Sometimes when you do that, you're forced to keep that front shoulder in instead of letting it fly open. Now it's out away from him and everything, and it's still a little bit, but to me it is a good sign to see the line drive that way. Now Hal McRae will kind of tell you that he's not a real fan of hitting to the opposite field, and he just feels that you're kind of giving in by doing that, or he always really wants you to tack and really more so pull the ball from left, if you're a right-hander, from left center on over.
Holiday bounces it up the middle. Castillo gloves out there on to first, not in time, but he takes a hit away. Outstanding play by Castillo, robbing Holiday of a base hit.
You're right about that. I mean, when he is healthy, Castillo is really an exciting ball player because he's a threat to steal. He's got that good defense, and his range is tremendous. And here, he really saves this base hit from going up there. Albert probably would have been first and third, nobody out, but takes a hit away from Holiday, and they get the force out at second.
Well, the schedule makers, while they were unkind in the first half of the season and first couple of weeks after the break for the Cardinals, it really gets a lot better coming up as Ludwig hits another one deep right center, and that's off the wall. Holiday was at second base, and he's being waved in. Holiday on his way to the plate, and better touch home plate. He does, and he scores to make it 3-2. The throw is on line. He's out.
Yeah, that's very interesting to see because, as you said, he actually hit round second base. And then the ball gets down, so he's coming here, and he's waving home all the way. Go up here on the wall, just gets over, sneaks over there, and the right fielder backs up the play, gets it in, a relay throw, and just up the line a little bit.
And Holiday missed home plate by 2 feet.
Well, he was trying to avoid the collision And Ludwig, as you said, the National League Player of the Month, is picking up right where he left off here in August.
And now it's Molina. Yadier pops one foul. I was about to say the Cardinals have 8 off days left. And including tonight, a major league low 54 games remaining in the season and only 15 more games with teams at or above 500. That could be telling down the stretch.
It can be, and of course, a lot of times a manager doesn't like to play those teams. You would rather play somebody that has something to play for, or, you know, is in contention also, because then you play to that ability instead of coming down to a lesser foe's ability.
That's a base hit into left. They'll hold up Ryan Ludwig. They're not going to test Sheffield here. They give Ankiel a chance with one out. I'm so accustomed to seeing Jose Oquendo just wave him in anyway.
Right. Ludwig, and the ball goes through here, and you see Oquendo has to get in his way and slow him up.
So that's 4 consecutive, or rather 2 consecutive base hits for the Cardinals here. Nearly 4, if not for the great play by Castillo.
3 in the inning, and right now, very least for a sacrifice fly from Ankiel.
And a ground ball pulled foul. I wonder if it did cross Jose's mind to send him, knowing that Ankiel is susceptible to off-speed pitches, in particular a great changeup with Santana.
That's a good point. It's kind of a little bit, and I know Kobe has been struggling a little bit, but because, and Rick is getting better, but it seems like he's better on the fastball than the changeup. He struck out his first time up.
Cardinals were shut out on Sunday for just the 6th time this season by a guy named Bud Norris, who was pretty good. Ankiel fouls it back. That's strike 2.
Mislocation there a little bit, wanted it away, and it was more up and in.
Ankiel struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. We're in the 4th. It's 3-2 Mets. Ankiel delivers with a base hit out to left. This game is tied at 3-3 as Rick delivers on an 0-2 pitch. And he picks up his 31st RBI. We're halfway to 6, and 6 is a serious number. When the Cardinals score 6, you get a 20-ounce coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just $1 the next day at On the Run at Mobile. Win or lose, when the Cardinals score 6, you score 25-cent drinks at On the Run. That's 4 base hits for the Cardinals against Santana here in the 4th.
Yeah, and here they want the ball up, and it was up. So give Rick some credit as he shoots that ball to the opposite field for the RBI single, tying this game. And Dan Worthen out there, a left-hander in his own right, a pitching coach.
And I guess going back to the point about the schedule, Al, is that in September too, you're dealing with all the call-ups and guys that you know, can play loose, play free and easy. Some of those teams that aren't playing for postseason play.
Right. You know, there's an old baseball adage: don't be tricked by what a player does in September or spring training.
Well, you know that Tony La Russa loves this lineup, and it is unforgiving, as Johan Santana is finding out right now. Here is Lugo.
And this lineup really hasn't started to gel yet to its full capabilities.
Not until number 5 gets it going.
Right.
Lugo doubled his first time up and then was left stranded back in the 3rd. Nice article done in the Post-Dispatch talking about Julio Lugo and getting a second chance and a new life here with the Cardinals.
Boy, he's done a nice job, and especially with the injury to Brendan Ryan.
I talked to him, Lugo, when he first was acquired by the ball club, and he said, at this point, I'll play second, I'll play short, I'll play the outfield, but I want to prove everybody in Boston that they gave up on me way too early.
I remember, you know, as he told you in that article, it's like, you know, hey, I was good enough to be the starting shortstop on a world championship team for Boston. And you got a 4-year, $36 million contract.
Cardinals will pay Lugo the minimum next year as he'll collect $9 million from Boston. A swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Julio Lugo. 1-2 the count with 1 out. Runners at first and second. Pitch count at 42 here for Santana.
Seven balls in those 42 strikes, or 42 pitches.
Little floater out to left field. Sheffield is there. Which then I'll ask you, is he around the plate a little bit too much?
Well, I just think that he's around the middle of the plate a little bit more than what he is accustomed to doing. And it's all about that fastball command, you know, and a lot of it is the fastballs in on the right-handed batters to set up the changeup away. But you've got to move the fastball around a little bit.
Pinheiro sacrificed his first time up, his 5th on the year. Runners at first and second. A 3-3 game here in New York. A swing and a miss. Pinheiro's actually handled the bat pretty well this year.
He has 8 hits, but sometimes those hits have been very meaningful with the 3 RBIs.
And here comes the 0-1 pitch to Joel Pinheiro. No balls and 2 strikes. Santana has meant so much to the Mets this year with all the injuries that they have had.
And Dan, I guess what we're talking about, the meaningful hits this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Pinheiro's batting .400 with all 3 of his RBIs.
Fouls it back. I guess it's what I remember out of this 186 average, or the importance of those hits.
Sure, a .400 average and 3 RBIs have come with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Here's the 0-2. Doesn't get the call. Now, Pinheiro has 3 9-inning complete games this season. In each one, he faced fewer than 30 batters. Think about that. Fewer than 30. The Cubs, the Mets, and the Brewers. So here comes a 1-2 pitch to Joel Pinheiro with 2 runners on. On the inside corner, and he strikes out. Santana has struck out 4. And the Cardinals have tied it up here at Citi Field. 3-3 midway through 4. A 3-3 game as we move to the bottom of the 4th here at Citi Field in New York. And we flash back as Joel Pinheiro back on June 23rd was masterful. You see the scene. 100 pitches, 22 ground balls, 3 fly balls. One of the best pitch games of the season. And that's the 2nd time that Pinheiro has done that in the last couple of years against the Mets.
He's 2-0 this year with an ERA just over 1 against the Mets, and in his career he's 3-0.
How much money is he making himself this season as Pinheiro is a free agent to be? There's got to be, I'm sure, some contenders saying, look, we've got money to spend. He'd look awfully nice as our 4th or 5th starter. But there's some pretty big right-handers going out on the market this year. Rich Harden, John Lackey, and Josh Beckett.
Every team can still take on a guy that is leading the league in ground balls, doesn't allow stolen bases, only allowed 3 home runs on the season. He's only walked, what, 15?
It's 7, 8, and 9 for the Mets in their order here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Alex Cora, and he hits a high fly ball out to right field. Over to get it, Ryan Ludwig, and he'll make the catch for the first out.
They stacked their lineup with left-hand batters, but actually this season righties are batting .270 plus, and lefties are batting .240. So it doesn't necessarily work with Pinheiro when he's on.
The only thing I can think of is that he does have Fernando Tatis on his bench, and we saw the ground balls that Pinheiro can get, and the fact that Tatis hits into a lot of double plays.
Right.
But, you know, going back to what John Mozeliak and the Cardinals have to do, is this is Omir Santos, and he was hit by a pitch and scored the second. There's a ground ball to second, and Schumacher's got it. But think about Kyle Loge and the kind of contract he got a year ago. Well, Pinheiro's numbers are statistically right there with him outside the wins and losses. This date in history, Cardinals first baseman Albert Pujols becomes the first person in history to hit at least 30 homers in each of his first 4 major league seasons. That year in 04, he wound up with 46 home runs. He hit .331 and had 123 RBIs. He also led the league that season in runs scored, but yet he was not the MVP. He wasn't even second in the balloting.
Well, and of course, Albert's the first player in Major League history to begin a career with 9 consecutive, 30-plus home run seasons.
Barry Bonds was the MVP that year. Adrian Beltre of the Dodgers, their third baseman at the time, was second, and Pujols was third. Santana flies out. Top of the lineup coming up, and that means Albert Pujols due third. It's time to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Well, we were expecting a pitcher's duel here tonight. Hasn't quite been that way. 6 hits aside as we go to the top of the 5th. And the Cardinals and Mets tied up at 3. But it is always fun, Al, as we've talked about so many times. It's great to see well-pitched ball games and to see the stars of this game perform like a Johan Santana.
No doubt about it. He can go out there. Runs are usually a premium. You get 3, but yet you're still in a tie game. And you just have to keep on pushing.
Schumacher grounded out 1-5-3 on an odd play back in the 3rd inning. He's also grounded out to second. Thought he had fouled the ball back, and actually it hit the ball a little bloop to Santana. He dove for it, went off his glove. If Skip knew where it was, he would have wound up at first base with a base hit. Instead, he grounded out. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's 0 for 2 tonight. It's Schumacher here, then DeRosa, who's 0 for 2, and Albert Pujols, who is 1 for 2. Hits sharply to short to his left. Cora settles and throws to make the play. Mark DeRosa in the American League had 13 home runs, and with the Cardinals he already has 7. But it's all or nothing right now with Mark DeRosa, as he's hitting just about 200 with those 7 home runs and 11 RBIs. One thing he's talked about, and he mentioned this before the game with me, he said you don't feel the weight of the world on your shoulders in this lineup. Not with the guys hitting behind you. You don't feel like you have to carry the club. There's a lot to be made of that too, with DeRosa coming over, and it's almost an afterthought. So he hits it into center field. Pagan back and makes the catch. Spend the night under the lights of Busch Stadium when the Cardinals campout returns. It's Friday, September 25th, courtesy of Bass Pro Shops and Tracker Boats. Number to call for tickets, 345-9000, or visit us online at stlcardinals.com/campout. And here is Albert. Pujols 1 for 2 with a single in the 4th. He's also flied out to center. And again, we'll take a look at that front shoulder, that left shoulder that Hal McRae was talking about. Is it flying open, which then leads to his bat dragging through the zone?
Right. Sometimes you'll say it's a little tired. Other times you're just pulling off of pitches.
One ball, 1 strike on Albert Pujols. Popped up behind home plate. Santos gives it a look, and it's out of play.
Dan, Albert Pujols is so used to carrying the load and has that ability to just carry a ball club. Now we've gotten him all this extra help, and you almost get the feeling now, is he relaxing too much, almost thinking that he doesn't have to do as much. and yet, or is he just one of those guys that it's more pressure when he isn't asked to do too much?
And at this point, you look at it, you know, he is the man of this team. It's his team, but Matt Holliday has made a huge impact. And you're right, psychologically there could be a letdown of some sort.
Well, Albert said that, you know, he wants to have championship caliber players around him. It's all about winning.
He's got him now.
So, but, you know, even if you go back about not quite 2 weeks ago when Holliday and Lugo joined the club in Philadelphia, Tony La Russa at that time said, you know, it's going to take a while for this team to gel. I hope it's not too long.
2-2 pitch. Take it for a ball. I was watching Pujols after that pop foul behind home plate. Looked the pitch to drive. He just shaking his head as if to say, I can't believe I'm not taking some of these pitches and driving them over the wall. The 3-2 with 2 outs. Pujols down the left field line. Sheffield won't get it. That'll go to the wall, and Albert will dig for 2. And he's 2 for 3 on the night, and it brings in Matt Holliday, who was robbed his last time up. That's good to see. Pujols 2 hits tonight.
Yeah, the first hit he got last time up was to right field, an outside pitch. This one down and in, and he just drops the bat head. It's a breaking ball and just rifles it out to left field. Nothing wrong with that swing.
Pretty darn good.
Santos out to remind him that, you know, there are 2 outs. You do have a base open, but this is the beauty of the depth of the Cardinals lineup right now, because Ludwig is behind Holliday. And Ludwig already a home run and a run producing double.
So 2 outs and the go-ahead run, and Pujols at second base. Cardinals with 7 base hits against Santana. Murphy over, out of room. You and I both were remarking today in the clubhouse just how big Matt Holliday is. That upper body, arms, the shoulders, and you see the strength in the forearms when he grabs the bat. He's a big man. Since the break, first in average and RBIs, on base percentage of .525, and slugging percentage .882 since the All-Star break. Well, we're talking about Bonds in the MVP year of '04. Now he had a total of 373 at bats and hit 45 home runs. 45.
How many walks do you hit?
Somewhere around 200, I believe. But it was a misprint. Outside. Big at bat in this game is right here. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Matt Holliday. The go-ahead run is at second base in Pujols. Ludwig on deck. Up and in, 2-2.
Third time through the order, you start getting a feel for what he's doing to you. Santana executes his pitches, he usually gets the hitter out. If he makes a mistake, a guy like Holliday will make it pay.
Upstairs.
Big gap in left center as they shade Holliday to hit to right and right center. Remember, you get Sheffield out there, not the swiftest of feet to left.
And there he goes into left center field. That ball will drop and Pujols will score. Matt Holliday delivers, and the Cardinals take the lead. It's 4-3. Holliday picks up the RBI, his 11th. He has a run scored tonight as well. And it's 4-3 Cardinals here in the top of the 5th.
Well, he misses location, kind of jams him, but Holliday's so strong, he muscles it over the infield. Pagan picks it up, but Albert, obsessed with scoring, he comes on home to break the 3-3 tie. And Ludwig, the Cardinals right now, they've banged out 8 hits.
And this has been done now with 2 outs as the Cardinals Schumacher ground out, DeRosa flied out to center, double by Pujols, 2-out RBI base hit by Matt Holliday, and now Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig 2 for 2, home run double, couple of RBIs.
But you know, that's not Bud Norris out there on the mound.
Right. It's only Johan Santana.
Right. How do you figure?
The Cardinals, in all seriousness, do rely so much on video, and even Tony La Russa talked about that before the game.
It's alarming.
He said these kind of guys give us fits.
Well, it's almost as if they can't trust their own eyes and instincts. You know, they have to be told this is what his pitching patterns are, or see this or do that. They just can't do it the old-fashioned way. You know, I mean, how did Stan Musial and Red hit? I never saw any video.
Trust your hands and
well, they
trust the game. And
yeah, you know, they said, okay, this is the type of hitter I am, and I'll be ready. But you would watch how a guy pitches, say, a similar type hitter in the lineup to get some kind of idea. And then after you've been out there for an at-bat or two, you pretty much know what it looks like.
Here's a 1-2 instead of check on the runner Holliday, and he almost threw it away. So the shot of Pujols, he's one of the guys that relies on video more than anybody. With that last double, by the way, Albert has tied Roger Hornsby of the Cardinals for 4th place on the all-time doubles list in St. Louis Cardinals history, 367. And a strikeout. Number 4 tonight. But Holliday puts the Cardinals on top. What's on tap presented by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability. Early start tomorrow as the Cardinals and Mets will come your way at 10:30 St. Louis time with the pregame show. 10:30 tomorrow morning. Kyle will get the start. 15th start and 5th since coming off the DL with that strained forearm. And now the Cardinals have themselves a 1-run lead. It's 4-3. The Mets half of the 5th and the top of the lineup. Angel Pagan leads it off, and that's a ball taken outside. Pagan, Castillo, and David Wright. Showing bunt and takes a strike. Reaching for it, and a little chopper to second base. Schumacher makes the play. And it brings in Castillo as Pagan is now retired. He singled and picked up an RBI in the first and second innings. Castillo is sacrificed tonight and grounded out. You're wondering about Bonds? Just take a guess in 04 how many walks he received.
I think more like 107%.
232.
Like I said, 232.
232.
Maybe it was more like 70
intentional
passes.
120 intentional. Unbelievable. Tails back in for a strike. 1 ball, then 1 strike. This Berry had some help along the way. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Taken low. David Wright on deck. Really, it's been a lost season for the Mets with these injuries that have added up. Never really have had their everyday lineup out there.
unfortunate thing is you still have to play your schedule. So.
The last couple of years, and really going back to '06, Cardinals won in devastating fashion the National League Championship Series, and then the next 2 years, this team probably, for all intents and purposes, should have been a postseason play team. There's a base hit past Lugo.
If you remember, in '07, we had to come back in here at September 27th and make up a rain out, a game that never did rain. And Pinheiro started that game, and it turned them around in a down spiral.
Everything you knew about fantasy football is about to change. Introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football with more customized features and new ways to play. Log on to foxsports.com and MSN and join the next generation of fantasy football. David Wright, 1 for 2 tonight with a single and a fly out to right field. See if Pinheiro can't get that ground ball and double play.
We've had just excellent starting pitching, but there has been that trend of when the Cardinals score, they have not been shutting down the opposition. Cardinals got ahead tonight and all of a sudden gave up 3 runs. Now they battle back to tie it and go ahead. So Pinheiro has to get that ground ball and get his double play and out of the end.
Chicago slightly ahead of the Cardinals in the Central Division in the 6th inning, and they lead Cincinnati 1-0. And Cincinnati is going to be without Edison Volquez for the remainder of this season and maybe all of next year too, as he is out with Tommy John surgery. Big loss for Walt Jocketty and the Reds.
17-game winner last year, and then he wanted to pitch winter ball and also the World Baseball Classic.
And many have pointed to the overuse of Volquez as being a reason why now he's going to miss some significant time. Throw to first and back in there Castillo.
He had just a shade under 200 innings, and then wanting to pitch winter ball, and then the stress when he needed probably to relax a little bit, take a little time off before spring training. He's got to gear up quickly for the World Baseball Classic.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Good pitch and a check swing, and Wright does not go.
I don't know when there's a good time to have that World Baseball Classic, but a lot of clubs are fearful of players trying to play such competitive baseball so early and before their arms are really in shape. And it seems like there's been numerous pitching injuries since we've had the 2 classics.
3-1 is a base hit into left field off the bat of David Wright. And in steps Sheffield. And people say, well, have it during the offseason. That might be the worst time to do it too.
Yeah, because then you get out of shape. See the terrific movement, but instead of starting at around the thighs and break down below the knees, it's starting above the belt and breaking to the thighs, and that's almost kind of running sideways as much as it's going down.
Hearing more and more people talk about Carpenter and Wainwright in the conversation for Cy Young. And Chris Carpenter right now leads the National League in ERA. We saw him on Saturday night. Our last telecast on Fox Sports Midwest. He had the double and complete game and was dominating on Saturday. So they could have a say in it here in the final couple of months. Sheffield, deep left field. Holiday back, and Keel is there. It bounces between them, and it gets away. 1 run is in. Here comes another. 2-run score. Five to 4 Mets. Looked like it hung up there enough to be caught.
Holiday looked like he was very comfortable allowing Ankiel, the center fielder, but you know, center fielder is supposed to take charge. But you see how Ankiel running hard trying to get to that ball on the warning track, where Holiday had pulled up and just watching, you know, assuming he was being called off by his center fielder.
And here's Daniel Murphy. Mets back on top 5-4. Murphy slicing one left center. That's trouble. Ball gets down. Couple of hops off the wall. Sheffield will score to make it 6-4 Mets. Back-to-back doubles.
Ball down and in. Wanted it further away, and coming off the bat of the left-hander, just slice away from Mankiel, really plugged the gap between the two outfielders out in left center. And after getting the leadoff man 4 consecutive base hits, and what I'm talking about, kind of that ugly little trend when your team scores, you got to really bear down. You know he's trying to do so, but he's turned it into a big crooked inning, and they're trying to add on.
I'm sure in the back of Piniero's mind, Al, he's saying some of these base hits I've given up either could have been caught, or in some of the ground balls, plays could have been made. But you can't worry about that.
Yeah, you can't think that way. Dennis Reyes warming up. You just got to, worry about what you can control. And we're talking about he's a ground ball pitcher, and these are not ground balls.
There's a ground ball that's pulled foul. Jeff Francoeur is flied out to right, also grounded out. 0 for 2. Daniel Murphy, the runner at second base. 6-4 Mets. Here's a ground ball off the mound over to Lugo, and he'll make the play. Celebration of a Cardinals All-Star summer. Coca-Cola recognizes past and present Cardinals All-Stars who have participated in the Midsummer Classic. It's a collectible 3x5 banner for 25,000 fans ages 16 and older. It'll be Friday, August 14th, San Diego in town, and that banner will feature Medwick, Simmons, Pujols, Stan the Man, Ozzie, Suter, and Gibson. And it's brought to you by Walmart and Coke Zero. It's a weekend of giveaways. San Diego in town on the 14th for the first of 3. That's the Friday night. And then on Sunday is the Bobble Picture Frame Day. Alex Cora 1 for 2. Single back in the second, has a run scored. Tails in there for a strike. He's got the movement.
Yeah. Just hasn't been able to keep it down enough.
One guy who is really impressed now in the last couple of weeks or so, Blake Hawksworth in the bullpen for the Cardinals. Very, very good. Last Wednesday picked up his first major league win. There's a ground ball up the middle. Scoots through Lugo and Schumacher. No play anyway. Base hit for Cora and an RBI to make it 7-4 Mets. 4 runs in this 5th inning.
5 hits in this 5th inning. This offense is going to have to score, but you see right there again is that catching a little bit too much of the middle of the plate.
Pagan was the first out in the inning. This is Santos. Runner goes. Great jump. And they still got him. From his knees, Yadier Molina. With a breaking ball to boot. He still throws out Alex Cora trying to steal second base. Watch this. Seven to 4. The Mets have a lead after a big 4-run bottom of the 5th here at Citi Field. Time for our Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game. And how about this play from Yadier Molina?
We're going all the way back to Mike Rourke, Whitey's pitching coach, and the man that perfected Bruce Sutter's split finger. He said, and he was an ex-catcher. He said, if you have a strong, accurate throwing arm, and you get a pitch that's down like that, you actually quicken your release to such a degree that if you're able to and have the muscle and this accuracy, you're quicker that way throwing from your knees.
Benito Santiago.
Yep. And that's kind of probably where I started the conversation after watching Santiago.
Even Tony Pena would throw from his backside every once in a while. As Molina leads it off now for the Cardinals, followed by Ricky Ankiel and Julio Lugo. 7-4 Mets here in the 6th. Magazine recently did an impromptu poll with the catchers in both leagues, and to a man, everyone said Yadier is the best defensive catcher in the game.
I thought he should have won 2 or 3 Gold Gloves before he finally won one last year.
Two and 1 the count. Ricky Ankiel on deck, and apparently there's a special night for Ricky Ankiel. Pat Paris is with us on this trip. And Pat, what do you have on Ricky Ankiel?
Well, believe it or not, while we're playing here at Citi Field, the Cardinals against the Mets in Memphis, a game underway against the Omaha Royals, and the first 1,500 at AutoZone Park in Memphis received a Ricky Ankiel bobblehead. And I don't know if we have the picture or not, but it's a fairly good likeness of him. I mean, as far as bobbleheads go, at least they had the lefty batting stance, right? And he actually autographed 12 of them as he hits one foul. He actually autographed 12 of them to give out to randomly to fans as well in Memphis.
All right, so Ricky Ankiel bobblehead in Memphis while he has been in the big leagues in St. Louis the entire year.
That's okay as long as he's not there for bobblehead night.
Ricky Ankiel into right field, and that'll be caught.
Did you see where they're going to do a second version of Manny's bobblehead for the Dodgers? It's going to be his bow that he made, or his tip.
He's actually tipping the cap after
he hit the grand slam on his bobble.
His original bobblehead night. There's Julio Lugo, who has doubled and also flied out to left.
Pretty quick turnaround.
Very quick. And Manny has been a non-factor here for about the last 10 days or so for the Dodgers. 2 outs and nobody on. You'd figure, though, that they have to feel pretty comfortable with where they are at right now in the National League West Division, as they lead it by 6.5 games over Colorado, and San Francisco is 7 out.
And Milwaukee is visiting Los Angeles this evening, so they'll be playing later on.
I mean, certainly if you're the Cardinals, you're watching Chicago, and they'll all say, oh no, we don't worry about what other teams are doing, but you do watch Chicago and the other teams in the Central. But if you're the Cardinals, you also have to take a look at Colorado and San Francisco, 2 teams that have a chance to get into postseason play via the wild card. The Cardinals might be that team too. A plus tonight, no doubt, has been Albert Pujols' 2 hits, and as you talked about, Al, it's a situation where this offense has just been waiting to fully click, with Pujols being a part of it. Lugo reaches forward, and a fly ball into right. Frank Poor backs up a couple of steps and makes the catch. Cardinals go in order midway through 6. 7-4 Mets. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by AT&T. Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. And by Taco Bell, your place to win tickets or a VIP ticket package to the Mizzou-Illinois Arch Rivalry game. Congratulations to Jeremy Macklin, the St. Louisan, who signed a 5-year contract with the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's great. Isn't it nice to see the Tigers and the Illini producing NFL players now?
Chevy called to the bullpen as Dennis Reyes is in. So the Cardinals get 5 innings from Pinheiro, but he allows 11 base hits and 7 runs tonight.
Not what we're accustomed to seeing from Pinheiro. And here's the numbers: the 50th appearance for Reyes. He leads the club in appearances. He has not pitched since last Thursday.
Popped up right side. Pujols will give chase. How about the play that Albert made Sunday on top of the tarp as he made the catch, and the concentration that he had?
Nothing surprises me with what he does on the baseball diamond, but he's numerous times has scaled that tarp and be ready to make plays. Not afraid to go over there, is he?
Not at all. But here it is, a new stadium, though, and you're trying to get used to this. At home, it's one thing, but to do it on the road, it's another. The play at home was tremendous. One ball and 2 strikes. Santos was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, came around to score on a double by Johan Santana. And a swing and a miss, and that's how we start things for Denys Reyes. So a strikeout to start the bottom of the 6th.
First strikeout of the night by a Cardinal pitcher. Breaking ball. With Santos over the top. Santana's helped his own cause tonight.
RBI double with the bases loaded back in the 2nd inning. And he's also flied out to center. Pitch that's up at 89 from Denys Reyes. Mentioned that Volquez will miss time with Cincinnati with Tommy John surgery. Big decision for the Diamondbacks, who just played 4 here against the Mets, as they have Brandon Webb scheduled for right shoulder surgery, and they hold an option on him for next year at $8.5 million. If they don't use that and exercise the option, they could buy him out for $2 million. But as their front office was saying, depending on the severity of the injury in the shoulder, we have to think about bringing him back, and it's a risk that we might be willing to take.
Well, they might be able to go ahead and not pick up the option, pay the buyout, with the thought that you aren't going to play next year, so you'll give you, a little more of a bonus, another $2 million or something, but not the $8 million option.
Schumacher makes the play, backhands it, 2 away.
That's kind of how the Carpenter was acquired by the Cardinals. They took him when he was hurt, knowing or taking the chance that they would get an outstanding pitcher when he was healthy.
Well, the New York Mets, and this would be Reyes' spot, have the 2nd most injuries as far as players on the DL and games lost, 820 this year, only behind San Diego. Tough to overcome that.
No. Even when you're a big market team and you've got a lot of payroll flexibility, you can't, you don't have the depth or the caliber of players that are out.
1 ball, 1 strike, and Pagan in this leadoff spot has really played well for Jerry Manuel. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a single and a sacrifice fly back in the 2nd. Picked up his 14th RBI.
He's a switch hitter and only hitting .241 from the right side.
Breaking ball just missed.
He's over 315 from left-handed, but .241.
The 2-1 pitch. A little bit high, 3-1.
Remember with Brandon Webb's situation too. This is not like an elbow. And with a good rehab, the likelihood is that it's a very high percentage to come back from elbows. Shoulders are a lot more tricky.
Now it's even a situation where you hear certain clubs say, look, if it's even a question as to whether or not to have Tommy John, go ahead and do it. And some of the players feel that way too. They feel that they come back stronger after that surgery.
Looking at 2 guys right there that are pretty good that have come back from it.
And a 2-out walk to Pagan. Brings in the switch hitter Castillo. if they get into postseason play. You think about those two guys, 1-2 at the top of your rotation.
I was talking to
Put them against anybody.
scout tonight, and they were talking that he's from Toronto. And he basically said, you know, that you're in good shape with Carpenter. So what about Wainwright, Pinheiro, Roche, whoever you want to do it, you know, but his point was saying, you know, if you put Carpenter in that first game, you win that first game, you're pretty much in the driver's seat. And that's how the Cardinals feel with a couple of their different starters. I asked about if the Cardinals come anywhere close in the Holiday sweepstakes, and he said he didn't really know. He worked the last couple of weeks, you know, looking at Philadelphia, and felt that the trade that Philadelphia made for Lee would not have been acceptable, and those players would not have gotten Holiday, and thought that Philadelphia really had the depth for them to make a trade for Holiday if they really wanted to.
Molina again, 2 for 2 tonight. Why even run against him? He is something else. Molina gets his second man tonight. That's Pagan. He got Cora earlier from his knees. That ends the inning, and a perfect throw from Yadier Molina. 7th inning rolls in when we come back. Let's take a look at the Infinity game recap tonight. Ryan Ludwig got things started for the Cardinals. He's got a couple of RBIs and a home run and a double tonight. But it's 7-4 Mets. Holiday picked up another RBI. But Gary Sheffield with a double, then Murphy right after that with a double. That was part of a 4-run inning against the Cardinals. And here is Khalil Green. Hit .343 in 10 games rehabbing at AAA. And this is going to be the role that you would anticipate for Khalil. Coming off the bench, pinch hitter, maybe a little defense. He can play third, he can play short, but he will not be a regular from here on out.
Seems a lot happier, like he's going out there, understands his role, trying to help his teammates.
He's talked about just trying to leave the issues of frustration and failure from games at the ballpark. He said it's been very difficult for him to do that. He doesn't have success, so it just drives him the entire day. All he does is think about it, and he strikes out. So Green is retired for the first out, and that's 6 on the night for Santana. Brings in Schumacher, who's 0 for 3. The Cardinal leadoff man is grounded out to the pitcher. Off his glove to the third baseman right. He's also grounded out to second and grounded to short.
2 for his last 22. And we're just not as accustomed to seeing that from Skip. Average has fallen to 292.
You see the reaction of Molina after he threw out Pagan. It was, you know, he kind of looked over in the dugout of the Mets as if to say, what are you thinking? It wasn't even close with either guy, Cora or Pagan.
Well, just a terrific throw right on the money.
Little chopper towards first. Murphy backs up. Santana covering. 2 away. It's 6 in a row set down, and here's DeRosa, who's 0 for 3.
It's about the time DeRosa does something.
Tonight he's flied out to left, fly to center, and struck out.
It's 5 for his last 34. He has RBI in 8 of his last 13 games.
2 outs, nobody on, and the first pitch is a strike. Reaches forward, pulls it fair. No, it's a foul ball.
Foul ball, but David Wright does what he should do, is you go out there and you field the ball, be positioned to throw, and wait for an umpire's call. Just go ahead and assume that it's a fair ball. You're the base runner, you do the same thing. Rios that wanted the ball checked, and Santana threw it, and it bounced at home plate. The umpire said, okay, now it's out of play.
Here's the 0-2.
Get on ahead of Albert the way he's swinging that.
Bites it off. It's popped up. It may drop. Santana, nice play. Time to stretch here at Citi Field, where the Mets have themselves a 7-4 lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. Turned into an outfielder on this play. Cabot Woodstein, legendary performance. This date in baseball, 1985. Tom Seaver records his 300th career win against the Yankees, throwing a complete game. And Tom Seaver apparently will be back in a couple of weeks here in New York to celebrate the 1969 team. And our Chevy call to the bullpen here is Todd Wellemeyer, former starter, now working out of the bullpen. Really came into a tough spot his last time that he was able to pitch. That was against the Dodgers. It was in extra innings, and a game the Cardinals eventually lost, and the only game that the Dodgers won in that 4-game series.
And these are the tough time situations that he'll find himself in, trying to rediscover or regain his confidence. Talking with him the other night, he really understands the situation very well, is trying to be as confident as possible. It feels like he is making progress, but Cardinals don't need a fifth starter until August 11th. And you could bring Boggs back at that time, or Wellemeyer, Hawksworth, or Thompson.
Be awfully intrigued by Blake Hawksworth, the way that he's thrown out of the bullpen. You know, he has never been used as a reliever until this season in the big leagues, as Luis Castillo takes the ball a little bit low, and Hawksworth said he was a nervous wreck when he first got here, but he said one thing you had to do very quickly if you wanted to stay is learn how to warm up in the bullpen. He said normally as a starter it takes me about 45 minutes to get loose and to get ready, my routine, my preparation, but in this case he is now working out of the bullpen.
And that's not unusual. You know, there's a zillion guys that started their minor league. You know, they started every game in the minor leagues to get to the big leagues, and they're going to work out of the bullpen. And you really, you know, a guy like Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa, you know, they can take a young guy and really build his confidence, using the areas where he's going to succeed.
Little chopper that's hit to the second baseman, Skip Schumacher. Tom Seaver, and it's hard to believe that there has been no hitters in Mets history. You think if there would have been one, it would have been this guy, Tom Seaver.
Well, Seaver, you know, you got Nolan Ryan. That's what, 7, started with the Mets.
When he got that win against the Yankees, it was Phil Rizzuto Day, by the way.
You know, Saberhagen. I mean, they've had some guys like John Madlack, Kuzman.
David Wright with a couple of base hits tonight, and that fastball taken a little bit low. Wellemeyer earlier this year talked about his lack of velocity. You know, he's a guy that can throw 94, 95 miles an hour, and for a while he was just throwing about 90, 91 with that fastball. There's a good tight breaking ball, and swung on and missed.
Well, that's be the interesting thing. You know, I mean, he could throw it 97, 98 when he first came up as a reliever, and it was just true thrower and not a pitcher. Then Dave Duncan got him to incorporate his slider, his changeup, back off on the fastball a little bit, and have better command. But sometimes, you know, do you back off so much to the point where now you try to find that fastball and you've lost so much velocity.
2-1 pitch to Wright.
There's 93. He wasn't doing that as a starter.
But I wonder in the back of his mind, he feels that, all right, in this role as a reliever, I can just let it go too. I'm not worried about going 7 or 8 innings. Watch out. And it's a walk to David Wright. So he's on base for the 3rd time tonight. And in steps Gary Sheffield.
Well, what he's got to do is he's got to get his mechanics to the point where he doesn't have to think. He's not doing his ABCs out there in his motion. Just get it back to muscle memory where he starts his windup and everything is in sync. And you know, his lower half and his upper half are all at the right positions where he has that repeatable delivery and can keep the ball in the strike zone.
Check on David Wright over at first base. Gary Sheffield, 10 home runs, 38 RBIs.
What's frustrating for Wellemeyer is they'll tell him, you know, he has some of the best stuff on the staff. He just doesn't, you know, he can't harness it or repeat it. But you know, he feels that you know, he was making 15, 20 mistakes in the start. Now he's kind of reduced it down to about 2. But it still hasn't been quite good enough.
0-1 pitch to Sheffield. Ground ball. Schumacher, Lugo, double play for the Cardinals. 4-6-3 sends us to the 8th. Big bats coming up. Pujols, Holiday, and Ludwig in a 7-4 game. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser, who thanks you for being a designated driver. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Really healthy food you can get here at Citi Field. A hot dog, Philly cheesesteak, and all the peppers you want. As Santana rolls into the top of the 8th, and it's 7-4 Mets as Baroa takes over at shortstop. And Cora moves from short to second base. See if the Cardinals can't get to Santana. This might be their best shot right here. Remember, back into games, Francisco Rodriguez, outstanding all-star closer for the Mets. And here's Pujols. If anything tonight, even if they lose this game, it's good to see Albert get a couple of base hits.
That's right. You know, he single and a double. So see if Albert can't get something started here. It's 92nd pitch thrown by.
Next by Santana. Get out of play. And again, Pujols in the hole here. No balls and 2 strikes. Albert here, then Matt Holliday and Ryan Ludwig for the Cardinals.
Challenge him with a couple fastballs. Trying to go up the ladder with another. And Albert to chase a ball. Albert thinking that he's going to get that changeup.
And a 1-2 pitch. Pujols out to center field. It's well hit. Pagan back. He'll look up, and this ball is gone right by the apple. And Pujols finally gets his home run. Number 35. He's a triple away from the cycle. And he's driven in 93 on the year, and it cuts the lead to 7-5.
Now we want to see the protection as Holiday can. Albert's going now. Now Holiday. I thought this ball landed in the apple. Pitch out away from him, and this time instead of pulling off it, Dan, straight away center field.
So cuts a lead to 7-5. And that is the deepest part of the park as it just cleared the wall right above that 408 sign. Holiday, hard hit to the second baseman. They'll call him out. It's a line out. And Holiday is retired for the first out here in the 8th. So another look at the home run from Albert Pujols.
Talk about him pulling off before, but not today. His 3rd hit, this one dead center field. And staying right on the pitches. So he's had a base hit to right, to left, and now to center.
Here's Ludwig. Home run and a double tonight. He's also struck out.
Holiday struck out, but he hit the ball very hard that they got the force out on Albert back in the 4th inning, and then in base hit RBI in the 5th. Ludwig, he hit a home run, his 18th of the year, and an RBI double.
Pedro Feliciano getting loose. The lefty for the Mets, their only left-hander. That's pitch number 100. And it misses to Ludwig. 2 balls and 1 strike. By the way, Corey Sullivan is taken over in left field as well, and the righty is also getting loose. 2-1 pitch to Ludwig. Hits it in the air to shallow right. Francoeur makes the catch. 2 outs.
Sean Green was that right-hander in the bullpen.
Brings in Molina. Single back in the 4th. And twice he has grounded out to short. 1 for 3 on the night.
Now he's thrown out 2 runners trying to steal tonight.
Off the foot of Santana. Right. Bare hands to first. Got him. Santana right over to first. And an unbelievable defensive play to take a hit away from Molina. The kick save, and David Wright finishes off. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. How about that play to end the top of the 8th for the Cardinals? Kick saved by Santana and a heads-up play by David Wright to stick with it.
And David Wright is a tremendous defensive player, and I'm shocked when I see that he has committed 12 errors this year.
Terrific play. The pizza pie.
That looks better than the chili or the Philly cheesesteaks.
Hot dog combo with the Philly cheesesteak
No.
that we saw earlier.
No. I had to turn my head, Dan. It looks so pathetic.
Well, here we go. Bottom of the 8th.
It's not like our good food we have at our place.
Outstanding.
Our carving station, our stir fry.
Here is Daniel Murphy. Murphy, Francoeur, and now the second baseman, Cora. Terry Manuel says that this guy is very, very aggressive, but they want him to be aggressive in trying to learn this new position. And in doing so, and being aggressive, they feel that he actually has progressed ahead of schedule where they thought he might be defensively.
Well, see, that's some of the advantages with all the injuries. You know, you get these guys to get all this playing time, and it can accelerate their learning curve.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Just doesn't fly in New York, though, does it? I mean, injuries aren't an excuse. How come you didn't go out and get this guy? Why aren't you spending money here? They get frustrated with their teams very easily. 2-1 to Murphy, down low, 3-1.
Dan, the way you like to spend money, or should I say the owner's money, sometimes I would think you'd be a perfect New York Mets fan or Yankee fan.
Well, Omar Minaya is in a little hot water with some of the media here in town. That's nowhere close. And actually had to have a press conference to apologize to a writer here in town.
Right after the Bernazard's firing.
And yeah, and the thing is, too, you know, Omar Minaya is a guy that knows all about New York. Grew up here. He should know what this is all about.
Doesn't make it any easier.
Nope. Leadoff walk, and here's Francoeur. Tony La Russa, you don't like to see that. The leadoff walk, and you're only down by 2. You're still in this game. Good pitch there.
Well, that's it. You know, the Cardinals, thanks to Albert's 35th home run, they get it within 2 runs. Well, Lamar did walk a man last inning. It was erasing the Sheffield double play, but they're hoping for the same so you can keep on building something for Willamette.
Francoeur over 3 tonight. Cardinals will have Ankiel, Lugo, and the pitcher spot due up in the 9th. There's a liner and caught by Schumacher. That's a catch. Let's go pitch by pitch here. Brought to you by Chevrolet. Wallemeyer to Jeff Rancour, the former Brave.
Remember, you just walked a man, your second and your inning plus, but you had a free swinger up there. A little slider, a little out there, then fastball throws by him. And a slider back out there that he lines to Schumacher. Just a little bit of movement on those pitches, but that's all you need to keep a hitter from centering there.
Alex Cora with one out. Cora has shifted from shortstop to second base. Mets' big inning was in the fifth inning when they played at 4. They also had 3 in the second. They lead it 7-5. Slicing to Holiday. $40,352 tonight here at Citi Field. And it brings in Santos. The Mets leading by 2. Francisco Rodriguez getting loose in the bullpen for the Mets. One of the complaints we heard from the players was the bullpen guys of the St. Louis Cardinals. It's a struggle for them to see the game from where they're situated in the bullpen. They actually have to watch off television. Both bullpens are situated in right center field. It is right there as Ryan Franklin gets a look at that replay, and Trevor Miller is throwing. 8-second delay though in the feed and when the game is going on to what they get out there in the bullpen. This is fought off and may drop. It will. It's a base hit. Runners at first and third.
Not a bad pitch, but Santos able to muscle it out over the infield in front of Ludwig.
So with 2 outs, it's runners at first and third.
Jeremy Reed is the pinch hitter.
And Jeremy Reed hits from the left side of the plate. So runners at the corners, a 2-run lead for the Mets here in their half of the 8th. And that first pitch taken for a ball upstairs.
Trying to keep it very positive. An outing for Wellemeyer, so they're allowing him to face a left-hander here with Trevor Miller warmed up.
And a 1-0 pitch to Reed. Swung on and missed. 92 on that pitch from Todd Wellemeyer. The second reliever used by Tony La Russa tonight. Denny's Reyes the other, and now Wellemeyer. Cardinals got 5 innings from Pinheiro tonight, and he gave up 11 base hits and the runs this evening. Right down the middle, swung on and missed. As you mentioned, Al, this is something that could turn into a positive here tonight, Todd Wellemeyer. Something to build on. You would hope.
It's a juggling act. You're trying to win the game, but you're also trying to keep things very positive and let Wellemeyer build something so he can help you down the stretch.
Here's a 1-2 instead, a check on the runners at first and third. One-two pitch. Fouled straight back, and a good cut that time.
Not over the plate. Reed this year is batting .320 as a pinch hitter.
Cardinals and Mets tomorrow morning at 10:30 St. Louis time. Early start tomorrow. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Watch out. Liner into the seats for 40,000 here tonight at Citi Field. Warm evening for baseball.
discovered $800 million and it gets you air conditioning either.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Spoiled. Cardinals will play in game 2 tomorrow. And then the off day on Thursday. First of 3 against the Pirates. They were almost no hit tonight, as they trail 6-0 in their game against Arizona.
Who are they?
I think there's one player left from their opening day starting 9.
Catcher.
Doman. How do you sell that to your fan base with all the losing that they've been through, and then to, it's one thing to lose, but it's another thing to completely dismantle the team. I mean, Freddie Sanchez, nice player. Jack Wilson, nice player. Not great, but okay. And I guess from their thought process, yeah, Nate McLouth is
First baseman, Roach.
you know, they're saying, well, if we're going to lose, we might as well just lose with guys to get experience and retool.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is a little hard to swallow because you've been doing it for 17 years.
Right. Here's a 1-2. And a ground ball slowly hit to Schumacher. And that sends us to the 9th. Good work by Todd Wellemeyer. Here in New York, it's 7-5 Mets.
Going to the 9th inning here at Citi Field. Cardinals trailing 7-5 to the Mets. Immediately after the game, of course, it is U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live. Jim Hayes and Rick Horton standing by. They'll welcome back Albert Pujols. We'll bring you Tony's take, and the Tournament of Champions continues on Cardinals Live. All that and much more coming up right after the game, guys.
All right, Pat, thanks. As Tony La Russa and the Cardinals trail by 2 at 7-5, and they get Rodriguez into the ball game. 48 innings. He's got 49 strikeouts, 24 saves, and 27 opportunities. And opponents only hitting 178 against him.
Actually had better success against lefties than righty, but righty's batting .220. Left-handers are batting .135 against him. And he gets tough with runners on base. .133.
So here we go to start the 9th. A 1-0 pitch to Rick Ankiel. Remember the game that Santana started, that series in which the Mets took 3 of 4 about a month ago. We saw Rodriguez into the ball game, and the Cardinals almost came back to get him. Came down to the final at bat.
Made it very interesting.
Get out of play. 2 balls and a strike. Rick Ankiel tonight has struck out. He has an RBI single to left. There's an 0-2 pitch by Santana. And he's also flied out to right. He has looked a lot better, more comfortable at the plate recently.
Yeah. David Wright, third baseman, well off the line. Shortstop up towards the middle.
2-1 pitch.
Straight away in the outfield.
He's got an odd way as how he begins his windup or his delivery towards the plate. He is open towards home plate as he gets his sign, and then he's all legs and kicking and motion towards the plate.
Deception. There's all that movement.
A 3-1 pitch. Rick Ankiel, base hit. Into the corner it will go. 2-hit night for Rick Ankiel. The tying run will come to the plate. And Julio Lugo, right in his wheelhouse, and he turned on that pitch.
Yep. Absolutely is. Just looks like he's so much more ready for fastballs and not guarding the line, which I'm not a big proponent of. But he hits it down in the corner for the leadoff double.
Colby Rasmus is moved to the on-deck circle. He'll be a pinch hitter. Here's Lugo. Leadoff double for Rick Ankiel. Tying run at the plate. 7-5. The Mets lead it here in the 9th. Big hitting lane for Lugo between third and short as David Wright is playing in, also playing towards the line, and the shortstop Angel Baroa is trying to keep Rick Ankiel close to the bag at second, so it's opened up quite a lane.
Yeah, and a big gap out in left center.
1-0 pitch to Lugo. Good cut. Lugo is doubled tonight. Also flied out to left and fly to right. Another great game from Johan Santana, trying to earn his 29th win as a Met.
Roa this time now playing more in the hole. So not really keeping Ankiel so close.
2-1. The Mets are hoping to get Billy Wagner back before this season is over.
Yeah, with all the injuries they had, they may get Billy the Kid back a lot sooner than most. He may be the next one back. Beltran is on rehab too, getting closer, but not expected for tomorrow's game.
2-1 pitch to Lugo. 2-2. Lugo does have a home run wearing a Cardinals uniform. That was against the Phillies in his first game.
We'll just take let him trade places with Ankiel. Drive in 1 run. Ultimately put up the big crooked number.
Two pitch.
Rodriguez work. Big pitch here, 3-2.
'62 saves a year ago. Spoiled by Lugo. It's the all-time record. He's now a 4-time All-Star.
Might have swung at ball 4 there, but with 2 strikes, you got to protect the plate and got a piece of it.
62 saves and 69 chances last year. Bobby Thigpen had 57 in 65. Former record holder back in 1990. A 3-2 pitch on its way. Lugo drives it into left center field. Cuts the lead to 1. Julio Lugo on his way to second base, and Keel scores. It's 7-6. And now you have a situation with nobody out. You can sacrifice here and give the Cardinals a chance to tie it up. Lugo delivers with his second double tonight.
Second double. This time he drives in his 13th run.
And 6 is a serious number. The Cardinals score 6. You get a 20-ounce coffee, fountain, or frozen drink for just $1 the next day at On the Run at Mobile. Wouldn't this be something? We have Skip Schumacher on deck. Rasmus coming off the bench tonight. Colby, good to see on Sunday. He walked twice. It was his 3rd multi-walk game. 22 walks. That's it in 97 games this year.
He went over 114 at bats without walking one time earlier.
With the way he's swinging the bat, which has not been great. Tony is the bunt in order here. Trying to keep that runner close. That's Lugo at second base. Swinging away on the first pitch for strike 1.
0 for his last 9. He was 1 for 13 on the homestand.
I thought for a second maybe Tony would pull back Rasmus and get himself a guy that he really trusts in a bunting situation.
A lot of times, you know, you're going to play for the win on the road, tie at home.
0-1 pitch. Now Rasmus squares and bunts it foul.
But you're right, Dan. I mean, it shouldn't be this fact, but Kobe probably has been a star at every level, from Little League on through high school and racing through the #1 prospect in the minor leagues. He's probably been very few times asked to bunt. No excuse. It's something he should be able to master. You're such a good hitter.
0-2 on Colby Rasmus. Can he deliver? or at least advance the runner. Good job by the catcher Santos to keep that in front. And with his struggles, it had to be in the back of Tony's mind to say, do I want him to bunt number one? Number two, am I better off getting a guy that can handle the bat that we've seen in bunting situations and use him here?
I think Tony has confidence that he's going to, at the very least, get the man over, and really likes the idea of him just part of the hit parade and driving him in.
1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Got to get that runner over.
And pretty nasty pitch. The reason why he had 62 saves last year and as the All-Star.
If you're dealing with a short bench, you could have used one of your pitchers even to bunt in that spot too. Here's Schumacher, who's 0 for 4 tonight. And that's a strike. One out, runner at second base. That's the tying run. The potential winning and go ahead run is at the plate. Two strikes. You're hoping somehow, some way, you can extend this game to Albert Pujols. Bart DeRosa is on deck.
And Rodriguez now, that changeup, his real big weapon. Skip just got a little piece of it for the second strike.
Citi Field comes alive. 40,000 plus. Just got a piece. Good job by Skip just to get a piece. 0-2 the count. He is grounded out to second, grounded to short, grounded to first, and grounded back to the pitcher. Rodriguez trying to save it for Santana. The Cardinals trying to take Pinheiro off the hook. Cardinals at 8 games above 500 at the start of play tonight.
Getting to chase one and almost hit Skip. Albert in the hole. You got to go through Schumacher and DeRosa to get to Albert.
One-two pitch. 2-2. Saw Pujols lurking for the Cardinals in that dugout, and tonight he has busted out with a single, a double, a run scored, couple of runs scored, and a home run deepest part of the park to center field. His last time up in the 8th. Three and two. This crowd restless.
Yeah, Schumacher tempted, but trying to stay away from that ball that's up. So they're trying to go up the ladder on him, but it was 0-2. Now it's 3-2.
Let's see if Schumacher can't deliver here. One out, runner at second base, and time is called.
Throw the splitter, or do you want to throw the fastball?
3-2 pitch. Base hit into right field. Here comes Lugo. Here comes a throw to the plate, and this game is tied. They do it against Rodriguez, and Schumacher comes through. 7-7 here in the ninth.
Is this going to be one of those games we're going to remember as one of the real turning points? And an all-star closer out there. 0-2. Now he hangs an off-speed pitch, and Schumacher delivers the blow out into right center. Lugo comes home. No hesitation at all. And now Albert gets closer. Barring a double play, Albert will come up. But DeRosa has come up with some key hits in these type of situations.
And DeRosa takes a strike tonight. He has flied out to left. He has struck out, flied out to center, and also popped out to Santana. The Cardinals have come back against one of the best in baseball in Rodriguez. Runner at first is Schumacher. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. And through all this, give Todd Wellemeyer some credit with 2 scoreless innings.
And, you know, Tony was sticking with him, not taking him out with Trevor Miller, who's just been automatic retiring left-handed batters, and wanted to make it a positive. Well, this would be a positive if you can sneak this win and somehow get Wellemeyer the pitcher of record on the positive side.
0-2 the count here on DeRosa. Remember, he had Schumacher 0-2 as well. 1 out, runner at first. And DeRosa falls down. He says he feels pain with just about every swing that he takes, but it's manageable, is the way that he described it the other day to me, with that wrist injury that he's been dealing with. Manageable.
And it's real good pain when you get a base hit.
You don't mind that, do you? He was hitting 270 with Cleveland. He comes into play now around that 200 mark after an 0-for-4 night. Trying to change that here. The 0-2 pitch almost hit him.
Dan, one of the facts is Rodriguez now has thrown 27 pitches.
Only 16 have been strikes. And a 1-2 pitch to DeRosa. Grounded left side, but foul. Just don't hit into that double play. Give Albert a crack at it. The Mets will have the top of their lineup coming up in the bottom of the 9th. One and 2 the count. The next to DeRosa after a long look. And he'll step off. It's one thing to blow saves, but to do it in this town, you got to be pretty mentally tough to be the closer in New York.
You just have to have that short memory and not listen to call-in shows or anything, read papers. Just
1-2 pitch. And DeRosa hits a high fly ball to center. That'll bring in Albert Pujols. Schumacher back to the bag at first, and here's Albert. Matt Holliday on deck. 2 outs. And Pujols starting to get locked back in tonight. First time up, he flied out to center, but then it was a base hit the opposite way. The double and a run scored in the 5th. In the 8th, a long home run.
And you ready for a triple?
Wouldn't that be something? Mike Redzalonic comes to mind with the last cycle for the Cardinals at the old Busch Stadium.
We'll do a triple here, and then we'll let Holliday drive him in with the home run.
2 outs and a runner at first. First pitch to Pujols. This is where this lineup can be so unforgiving for the opposition when Albert is right. Pick your poison. Pujols here or Holliday on deck. 1-0 pitch to Albert. Breaking ball taken high, 2 balls and no strikes. So Pujols can be very, very selective here. That curveball has been really flat.
Yeah, it's been flat. That's what Schumacher got the base hit on the curveball. Almost like getting underneath it.
You have to wonder about Rodriguez being able to pitch in tomorrow's game. Pitch number 32 coming. Almost hit him. That breaking ball is not the way that we normally see it.
Yeah, that's curveball. His changeup's been his best pitch, and we think it's a little bit more than just a changeup.
Turn him loose on 3-0. Albert hit a couple of long home runs in batting practice. 3-0 pitch to Albert Pujols. Here it comes. Down the right field line. It is slicing. And a foul ball. He was swinging away. Remember earlier Schumacher lined it softly back to the pitcher. Didn't know where it was. And was caught standing at the batter's box and taking nothing for granted now. Like to see that.
2 outs, nothing for him to do but run.
And you don't worry about him in a lack of hustle.
You're right.
A 3-1 pitch to Albert. Here it comes. Off the end of the bat.
And Dan, if you remember the reaction of Schumacher, you knew that he felt worse than anything that we could have said. That, he knew he'd made a mistake.
And outfield is awfully deep. And why not with Pujols up? But this is a spacious ballpark. And on 3-2, 2 outs. Schumacher gets a good jump from first. Ball in the gap. Could be very close to figure out if he can make it home.
That's one of those running into a running count. And so Schumacher will get the great jump. Just make sure he pitches. Take off.
3-2 pitch to Pujols. We'll do it again. Pujols came into play tonight since the All-Star break. At the start of play, hitting .226 since the All-Star game, but that changes now. A 3-for-4 night.
Get that average back over 320. Sitting 319 right now.
A 3-2 pitch. Missed. And it brings in Matt Holliday with 2 runners on. It's now 36 pitches. And at some point, if you're Jerry Manuel, you're thinking, is my closer seen enough?
More than enough to talk to him.
His stuff doesn't look like it normally does.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. And Cardinals had the off day yesterday, but the Mets were playing.
Holliday tonight is struck out, grounded out, has an RBI single, and then lined out sharply last time up.
Census of the truck is take the lead right now and shut them down in the bottom.
Cardinals have right-hander throwing in the bullpen.
I know you and I would stay here with a tie game and just keep on playing this good, outstanding bonus baseball.
7-7 with 2 outs here in the 9th.
And of course, the Cardinals tie it up. They get a lead, so they can't win it in the bottom.
Good thing about the outfield arms. Very good one in right with Francoeur. Holliday on a hop to the shortstop. Knocked down. Force at second. Safe. Pujols is in there. Bases loaded. Almost slid off the bag. They could not get the force play. He slid past second base. They tried to apply the tag, not in time. And now you have the bases loaded with 2 outs. And the Mets should be out of this inning.
Hit hard. Ball comes up on Aurora. He stays with it. And he gets it to there. Albert's safe there. And you see he came off and tried to tag him.
Taking a look at Pujols to make sure he's all right. Barry Weinberg racing out there to second base.
I think he may have been spiked.
Well, you just said I'm going to be all right.
Yeah, I'm sore, this and that and everything, but he's going to stay in this game. Did he get spiked or did he just get stuck in the mud? Look at all that dirt on his pant leg.
So bases loaded for Ludwig. He's had a good night. A home run, a double. He's flied out to right, and he has also struck out. See a little blood there on the knee and the tear in the pants. So 2 outs, bases loaded, 7-7 game here in the top of the ninth. The Cardinals have come back against one of the best closers in baseball. 62 saves a year ago, and a blown save here tonight.
37 pitches thrown. Doubtful that he will be available with the quick turnaround tomorrow morning.
First pitch to Ludwig. Here it comes from Rodriguez. Taken low and in the dirt. Molina on deck. And Yadier Molina still gets booed every time he is introduced to the folks here in New York. They remember 2006.
I think he'll take that boo. He remembers the home run. That was the crushing blow.
Last play, fielder's choice E6 on that play. Ludwig can put the Cardinals on top here. 1-0 pitch. Ludwig pulls it foul. Right past Skip Schumacher, who's standing in foul territory, and that's why you do it. He's hit there. We play on.
Skip taking his lead, but jumps over it. She said the ball can hit you in foul territory, and it's okay. Hit you in fair territory, you're out, and the batter is awarded a base hit.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Ludwig. On its way. Ludwig with a fly ball into deep right field. It's slicing and heading for the seats out of play.
Long half inning with 40 pitches being thrown. Nothing worse. You come into a save situation and walk off with an L.
Ludwig in the hole here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here it comes. Popped up right side. Catch made, and that sends us to the bottom of the ninth. But the Cardinals have come back and tied it up. 7-7. Albert Pujols is our player of the game, presented by Budweiser. 3 for 4 with a home run, a double, couple runs scored. And Albert walked in the ninth, so on base a lot tonight. Good to see that. 7-7. Here at the bottom of the ninth. And Kyle McClellan will be the new pitcher used by St. Louis. Mentioned before, the Cardinals are 8 games above 500. The best they have been this season is 10 games above 500. Kyle McClellan stranded 2 runners last Wednesday against LA in the 9th inning to keep it a 1-run game. And the 25-year-old was used 3 times in that series against the Dodgers, and this will be his 44th appearance. Did not pitch against Houston over the weekend. And the first pitch is a strike.
We're trying to get as much rest as possible for Kyle and for Ryan Franklin.
Pagan is the first hitter for New York. Top of their lineup: Pagan, Castillo, and David Wright. 1 for 2 with a single, the walk, a sacrifice. caught stealing back in the 6th by Molina, who's caught 2 here tonight. Cardinals have come back to tie it up 7-7 here in the bottom of the 9th.
I don't know about you, Dan, but I kind of like when they don't bring in the closer when you're in a tie ball game, 9th inning or on the road.
And your reason being?
Well, I mean, because because you really got to get them out twice.
Right.
You're the road team. So
some people would say, well, you got to get there first.
Well,
Other people would
sure.
say save them though if you take the lead.
But I mean, I've got confidence in Kyle McClellan or some of the other guys and bring them in there. And if you can delay using your closer, and then if you do have the lead, you still got to get 3 outs, so you can use them as your traditional closer then.
In a situation like this tonight for Tony La Russa, you're dealing with a rested Kyle McClellan, and that is a big factor as we saw last year.
And it's a big luxury too.
3-2 the count, nobody out, just underway here in the bottom of the 9th. 7-7. Back to McClellan. Gloves and underhands to Albert for the out. All important, first man retired. Brings in the speedy Castillo. Is now going to be a Corey Sullivan spot, of course, and Sullivan here with 1 out, nobody on, and then David Wright. Corey Sullivan off the bench tonight for Jerry Manuel. Mets trying to get their 51st win of the season. First pitch, a strike. And also in a situation like this too, Al, if the Cardinals go to the 10th and they cannot take the lead, feel comfortable with McClellan coming back and pitching a 2nd inning too.
That's right. And remember, you had the off day yesterday, didn't pitch over the weekend. You got an off day on Thursday. So I mean, you can use your bullpen a little bit differently, or not worrying so much if you overextend one of your relievers right now. They're going to get enough rest.
1-2 the count. And the off day yesterday and an off day Thursday. It's going to feel like these guys are having an easy week with as hard as they have gone since opening day. And the fact that one of the off days was taken away to go to Washington and play. But we'll arrive early tomorrow evening in Pittsburgh and then have the entire day on Thursday. Hit into right, and the catch made by Ankiel. Almost looked like he couldn't see it. Caught in the lights, but Ankiel makes the catch, and there's 2 away. Cardinals looking ahead to the 10th. Molina, Ankiel, and Lugo. Lugo, one of the heroes of this 9th inning, along with Ankiel, who started the inning off with a double. Skip Schumacher, a key base hit. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's David Wright. Talked about Rodriguez trying to find his breaking ball. McClellan, same thing right now.
Yes. Casting it out there and not being on top of it. The good 12-6 we're accustomed to.
Fastball taken a little low. 2 balls, no strikes.
David Wright is swinging the bat very well right now, but you just don't see, he's not the home run threat, particularly in this ballpark, that he used to be.
Good breaking ball that time. 2-1. I believe the most home runs of any Met at this ballpark, 5.
Well, their team leader is Sheffield with 10. So
2-2 as he hits his spot. Good pitch.
big spacious ballpark, and a lot of these Mets really try to hit it around to the opposite field, so it's not conducive for home runs.
A 2-2 pitch, and Wright pops it up at foul.
Chicago wins tonight 6-3 at Cincinnati. Arizona defeats the Pirates 6-0.
see Molina where he's setting up. If David Wright wants to chase, go ahead, but don't give him much to hit. You've got Angel Baroa on deck. I think you can live with yourself if Baroa beats you, but not David Wright.
Right.
Ooh.
You know, you got to, if you're going to give him a pitch in the strike zone, you got to make sure it's down so it stays a single.
Outside, and they walk right, so the winning run is on. David Wright on base for the 4th time tonight. A couple of walks, a couple of singles, and now it's Baroa.
Reminder from Molina, okay, it's like, hey, you pitch around bad guy, now go right after Baroa.
Remember Baroa, former American League Rookie of the Year when he was with Kansas City. And his contract picked up from AAA Buffalo, the International League, back on the 16th of July. Signed as a minor league free agent back in early July. He was designated for assignment by the Yankees late June. Appeared in 21 games with the New York Yankees and only hit 136. First pitch taken low. There's a Rookie of the Year was back in 2003. One-0 pitch to Baroa. Strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. If the Cardinals can win this game, it's one of those signature wins that you point to, possibly at the end of a championship run. This is a huge game to come back in and compete to make it 7-7.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, and the Russa thought the way Pinheiro was pitching, you know, he was not afraid of this matchup with Santana, but both starters did not have their typical A game. But when you're going into the 9th inning against Francisco Rodriguez, an all-star closer and a guy that set the all-time record for 62 saves in a season, and he's got a 2-run lead, you pretty much know in the back of your mind it's unlikely that you're going to win that game. So the Cardinals are now playing in extra inning, or well, they haven't gone to extra innings yet. They're in the bottom of the 9th.
1-2 pitch.
This is definitely a game that you'd be stealing from the opposition.
Two and two. We'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Daniel Murphy is on deck. Reaches for it. McClellan got a piece of it. No play. Baroa is aboard. Winning run in scoring position. It's one of those kind of plays that quickly you kick yourself because you wonder if you let it go, does Schumacher make that play and flip for a force at second?
It's very difficult. You know, you're a competitor. You're thinking that you're going to make that play. He's very athletic, and Kyle McClellan, and he got the glove down there, just he wasn't able to haul it in, and the suspense continues.
You have to think if you feel protected in your bullpen, which the Cardinals should. You've got Daniel Murphy here. Would you think about Trevor Miller?
They want to counter with Tatis, so be it.
Yeah.
Tony has great confidence in Kyle McClellan to retire right and left-hand hitters, but Dylan Miller's a real weapon down there in the bullpen. You'd have to. Like you said, they got Fernando Tatis on the bench, and with his versatility, if it goes on, he can play any place, including first base.
So Daniel Murphy, a chance to give the Mets a win. David Wright, the winning run at second base. Good pitch in on the hands. Strike one.
Murphy, a couple hits tonight. A little cutter.
Murphy has played left field and first base this season for the Mets. Talked about it earlier. Pulled foul. Oh, 0-2.
Now wants a new baseball. Murphy's hit in 13 of his past 15 games, over 300.
And he got him to chase a breaking ball. 3 pitches, a strikeout from McClellan. Albert is there, and that sends us to extra innings. Yadier Molina starts things off in the 10th when we come back. Brian Stokes has been used a lot out of the bullpen for the Mets. This will be his 6th appearance on this homestand. And right-handers this year hitting .222 against him. And here at Citi Field, he's been very good, a 1.59 ERA. Extra innings this season, St. Louis 3-4, and the Mets are 4-5. Stokes was acquired from Tampa Bay in exchange for cash considerations, November of '07. So Brian Stokes will face Yadier Molina. So we have a stoppage in play as water bottle made its way onto the field. Stokes was with Tampa Bay in '06 and '07. 59 appearances with the Rays in '07. 24 appearances a season ago with New York. Here's Yadier Molina. Numbers on Stokes this year, 44th appearance.
Pitched very well here at home.
Molina to first. Stokes covering, 1 pitch, 1 away. Yeah, we mentioned the ERA, and it's under 2 here at Citi Field. Here's Ricky Ankiel. He got things started against Rodriguez in the top of the 9th with a double. Came around to score. That made it 7-6, and then the Cardinals eventually tied it up 7-7. That's where we stand right now in extra innings. Julio Lugo is on deck. 1 out, nobody on for Ankiel, and out to visit Santos.
Got a left-hander warming up.
There's their only lefty, Pedro Feliciano.
He's been very good for them.
Cardinals with no activity right now in their bullpen.
Now they're going to go to Feliciano.
Second time that the lefty has been up and throwing.
So let's go to break, and we'll come back in this 7-7 tie with Pedro Feliciano will come in here with 1 out in the top of the 10th inning. He will face Rick Ankiel. He has 2 wins on this homestand, as he's not allowed a run in 5 1/3 innings. Only 2 hits allowed, 6 strikeouts. Lefties are batting 176 against him, 18 for 102.
And the first pitch to Rick Ankiel, swung on and missed. Good cut by Rick for strike 1. 7-7 here in the 10th. Stokes 1 pitch, 1 out. And he's out of the game for the lefty Feliciano.
See if they don't use 3 pitchers this inning, as they've got a right-hander warming up now. That's Sean Green again. He was up earlier.
Well, usually if you see him up a couple of times, they're coming in. 0-2 pitch to Rick Ankiel. Waits on that breaking ball, slowly hit. Quickly to first, and Ankiel is aboard, and now he can advance, but I guess he's saying to himself, I didn't touch the bag at first. So a base hit for Rick Ankiel.
Dave McKay was trying to get him to go to second. I don't know if that was far enough away for him to advance, but
I think it was, Al, but my guess is he felt he didn't touch the bag at first and had to make sure he went back and got it.
well, let's see right here. Corey throws offline.
Yeah, he missed the bag.
Yeah, he missed the bag. What you see, Dave McKay, but if you miss the bag, you've got to go back and touch it before you can even think about advancing. So he did the right thing.
3-hit night for Ankiel. Here is Lugo. Short lead at first by Rick. They do not go to the right-hander. And Lugo takes a ball outside. Now, Julio Lugo, historically very good against left-handed pitching.
That's right. And do have Rasmus on deck, so that's why they didn't go to the Sean Green in the bullpen.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. And a strike at the knees. David Wright very close to the line over third. Seven here in the 10th. Go ahead run is at first. Short lead by Ankiel. Lugo a base hit into right field. Ankiel will stop at second base. How about Julio Lugo? That's 3 hits for Julio. Couple of doubles and now that single.
6 hits from your 7th and 8th place hitters, but he's got good power to the right field. You know, that right center alley, he hits the ball with authority that way, actually better than he does to left. And Rasmus comes up in another key situation.
Remember last time Cardinals tried to bunt him on one of the 3 pitches and went for strikes, and he fouled it back. Then he eventually struck out back in the 9th inning. Colby takes a ball. You got Schumacher on deck. So this is up to Feliciano here. With a lefty here and another lefty coming up. 1-0 pitch to Colby. Misses down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Be very selective here. In the count, 2-0. Outside, 3-0. Might be a situation where you take not only 1 strike, but 2 strikes with the way that he's been swinging the bat.
I have to agree with at least 1.
Oh, yeah. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and he walked him. Bases are loaded. Rasmus draws the walk, something he doesn't do very often. Bases loaded for Skip Schumacher, who has one of the biggest hits in this game back in the 9th. Ankiel with an infield base hit. Lugo is single to right, and now a walk to Rasmus brings in Skip Schumacher.
Skip got a big base hit in the 9th inning. That tied the score at 7-all, and that's where we are right now, and with the bases loaded and only 1 out.
One out, bases loaded. Schumacher takes a ball.
4 straight, or 5 straight, excuse me.
Remember, the Cardinals have already used Khalil Green from the right side. LaRue is their backup catcher, and Brendan Ryan still nursing that sore ankle. One of those situations, though, where you'd have to go to Brendan Ryan and say, you feel you could, not only could you hit and put the ball in play, but we have to keep you in the game. Can you play second base? Can you play short?
I
do
think
too.
He could. And I watched him bounce around a little bit during batting practice, and I think in his mind he could start a game, but he could definitely finish one.
One and one the count on Schumacher. Bases loaded. 7-7 here in the 10th. Mark DeRosa on deck. Right-hander getting loose.
How about a shot out to right center?
Big gap there, and the outfielders are very, very shallow. So 2 outs with the bases loaded. Mark DeRosa. And here comes Jerry Manuel, and he'll go back to his bullpen. We step aside. Extra innings. Bases loaded. 7-7. Mark DeRosa coming up. Here is Sean Green. He was part of that monster deal back in the offseason as he came over from Seattle along with Jeremy Reed and pitcher J.J. Putz, who they hope to have back before the season is through. He was going to be the setup man for the Mets. And so the right-hander, who is from Louisville, Kentucky, takes over. 6'6", 230-pounder. He had 72 appearances last year for the Seattle Mariners, 64 the year before that. So he has been a workhorse before in his career, and he gets Mark DeRosa in a 7-7 game with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Bases loaded for the Cardinals.
DeRosa 0 for 5 trying to have a little fun. The only spot in the order that has not been on base for the Cardinals.
And DeRosa is hit by a pitch, and a run will score, and the Cardinals have the lead 8-7. And Keel scores, and DeRosa gets the RBI truly the hard way.
Yeah, and hopefully he's okay. These fans are really frustrated now, but the first pitch just takes off, runs right on him, right on the elbow. And right now he doesn't have any feeling in that arm. He picks up that 62nd RBI and could be a game winner, but don't be afraid to add on. And look who's coming to the plate with the bases loaded. And
Jerry Manuel with all the different moves that he's made here in the 10th. And it has not paid off. Career with the bases loaded, 10 grand slams. That's most in Cardinals history. He is homered here tonight.
6 for 8 this year, 4 grand slams, and 20 RBIs with the bases loaded.
First pitch is strike.
4 grand slams in a season is a franchise record. The 10 grand slam in a career is a franchise record.
2 outs, bases loaded. No balls, 1 strike on Pujols. Oh, breaking ball that time. Pujols a little bit out in front.
That time he was out in front.
No balls and 2 strikes. Pujols flied out to center in the first, singled in the 4th, doubled and scored in the 5th, homered in the 8th to center field, and walked in the 9th. Mark DeRosa, hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, has put the Cardinals on top 8-7 here in extra innings. The 10th. Pujols down the left field line, and that ball is foul.
Back to that slider, and this time a little bit out in front, pulls it. Guy 6'6", 227, and you just think he's going to throw the ball a lot harder than that. Slider just kind of lollipopping up there.
Well, he fooled him on the 1, but not many times do you fool him twice. 0-2 pitch to Albert. Pujols, left center field. It's well hit, and it's gone! Grand slam for Albert. His 2nd home run tonight, his 11th career grand slam. You don't fool him twice.
5 RBIs, 2 home runs, 97
Wow.
RBIs on the year, and what a big win. And somehow I feel like there's not going to be much traffic when we leave the ballpark.
Look at the fans leaving. What I tell you, Al, I mean, you get that breaking ball once, you can fool them, but the second time, he's the best in the game at making adjustments in the middle of the at-bat.
Well, it's also an error in location. Santos set up well outside, and he catches too much of the plate.
Holiday bounces it to short. The Cardinals plate 5 here in the 10th. 12-7. St. Louis and some boos here in New York. (12-7). The Cardinals have the lead, and what a night for Albert Pujols. I think it's safe to say the slump is over, as he has the single, the double, 2 home runs and a walk tonight, 5 RBIs, and he will turn it over, the Cardinals will, to Ryan Franklin. This will be his 41st appearance of the year.
5-run lead. Not even a save situation for Ryan, but
Game
what
like
a big,
this,
big win. I know
don't let it go.
Jack and Gracie Maurer were going crazy on Albert's 5th grand slam this season.
Game not over yet. I mean, we got 3 outs to go still.
Nope, but we got our all-star closer out there. How about Pujols? 7 for 9 this year with the bases loaded, 5 grand slams, 24 RBIs. And Julio Lugo, what a welcome addition he's been. He had 3 hits, a couple doubles. He scored 2 runs. He had an RBI. DeRosa, the painful go-ahead on a night where he kind of struggled. He got hit with the bases loaded for his 62nd RBI to bring up Albert for his dramatics.
12-7 Cardinals. Here's Francoeur to lead it off in the bottom of the 10th as the Cardinals went into the 9th inning trailing against Rodriguez. There's a broken bat hit to second base. Schumacher to Albert. You get the feeling too that with Pujols, not to say he was pressing since Holiday got here, but maybe in the back of his mind he was a little bit. And you know, now he's got this game under his belt. The home runs come at a crucial time. You've got another off day coming up Thursday, and you know what he does in Pittsburgh. So watch out. There's a Cardinal fan still here.
Yeah, everybody else left. That was a non-Cardinal fan. But you know, Dan, there was no doubt that Albert got a little worn out with all the activities around the All-Star festivities, and he was the spokesman for all of baseball.
Here's a chopper. Lugo, gloves, throws, 2 away.
Ryan Franklin making it look easy again. 4 pitches, 2 outs, all 4 pitches strikes.
What also tells you how, you know, Tony, what he's saying about this game right here. As you mentioned, not a save situation, but this club has battled to get to this point, to lead it 12-7, 5-run lead. He's taking nothing for granted and saying we want this game right here, right now.
Well, he had him warmed up enough too, and you know, he had a couple days off, so he can pitch again tomorrow and then have the off day on Thursday and be real charged. But when you get a guy like Franklin, you know he's not going to overextend himself and throw too many pitches. So he'll be ready for tomorrow afternoon.
And if you're on the other side, you're the Mets, you're thinking this is a game against St. Louis, a good team. It's made moves, they paid off. We got a chance to win this game with Rodriguez. We're starting to get healthier. Now all of a sudden you're trailing 12-7 here in the 10th. I mean, this is a tough loss if it comes to fruition. 5 spot in the 10th, 2 in the 9th to send us to extra innings. 12-7 Cardinals. One-two pitch. Hit out of play. Bases loaded. Mark DeRosa hit by a pitch to give the Cardinals the 8-7 lead, and Albert, just being Albert, hits another grand slam.
The Mets bullpen, one of their strengths, but tonight it imploded.
1-2 pitch. And a ground ball that's pulled foul. And we talked about this when it was happening. Win or lose at the time, Rodriguez was throwing a bunch of pitches, close to 40 on the night. So you would have to figure that tomorrow, if it came down to a save situation, Jerry Manuel has to look for somebody else.
Threw 41 pitches in his 1 inning of work in the 9th inning. So be shocked if he is available for tomorrow.
And that's fouled back. You think about some of the wins the Cardinals have had here in the last 10 days. Dramatic wins over the Dodgers and possibly one of the best road wins of the season right here if they come back and do it.
And we touched on it a little bit too, Dan. When you win and go into postseason play, you have these type of games that you remember where you steal a victory from your opposition.
Check swing. The ball scoots away. Did he go? No. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Post-game show is coming up. Jim Hayes and the gang standing by. Pat Paris will be in the locker room with all the post-game reaction from the players and Tony La Russa. Don't want to miss that.
Give this team a lot of credit because, you know, right down to the wire, they fought hard and steal one. Just one more strike.
And a ground ball up the middle, base hit past a diving Skip Schumacher. Extends the ball game with 2 outs.
Santos a little credit for having a stingy game. It's like Tatis. Tatis will come up and pinch hit.
Fernando Tatis, the former Cardinal. Santos, the runner at first base. First pitch to Tatis into center field. Rasmus back, and it's over his head. One hops off the wall. Santos held up at third. It's a double for Fernando Tatis. Second and third with 2 outs.
All right, that's enough of this. As Tatis smokes this one over the head of Rasmus, and Santos running that run out there when you're down by 5, you know, it doesn't get you a little closer, but they have to have a few more hits for it to mean anything. So Razor shines, held Santos up at third.
Pagan 1 for 3, a single, the walk, and a sacrifice. 12-7 Cardinals, 2 outs, 2 on here in the 10th. Just the little things the Cardinals do right as well. You think about Molina in this game throwing out 2 base stealers, 2 for 2 in that category. Mets have committed an error. The Cardinals no errors tonight. 15 hits aside. 12-7 St. Louis. Cardinals picking up 8 runs in the last 3 innings. Fly ball into right. This should do it. And the Cardinals win it 12-7 in 10 innings tonight here in New York. Huge night for Albert Pujols. A couple of home runs, a grand slam. Hugs Mark DeRosa, took one off the elbow, the go-ahead run, and the Cardinals win it. And a huge win, Al, here on the road.
Well, outstanding effort. They played a hard 9, and it paid off through 10.
Coming up, it's the post-game show. U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live. Pujols puts on another show here in the Big Apple. U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live coming up.
A thrilling game. The Cardinals won it 12-7 in 10 over the Mets. Rick Horton and I are here to break it down. Rick, I guess those folks that were worried about Albert can stop worrying about Albert.
Yeah, and they can stop worrying about this team's offense too, because 8 late innings runs for the Cardinals. A dramatic comeback. What a finish this was. And it wasn't just Albert. It was Schumacher, Lugo, and Ankiel with big hits late.
More from Rick coming up. Plus, the Cards head to New York for a quick 2-game series. Could the Redbirds take the Big Apple by storm? Plus, with his sub-3 ERA heading into tonight, was Joel Pinero's performance tonight an audition on the world's largest stage? Plus, we'll take you back to Queens for player reaction and Tony La Russa's post-game thoughts. And the first round of the Cardinals Tournament of Champions is coming up. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Cardinals Live is next.
Welcome to U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live.
Pujols, left center field. It's well hit, and it's gone! Grand slam for Albert! His second home run tonight, his 11th career grand slam.
Albert hadn't homered since July 17. He goes deep twice tonight. This grand slam broke it open in the 10th. The Cards rally to beat the Mets, the final 12-7 in 10 innings. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside our Fox Sports Midwest studios in St. Louis for the post-game edition of U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live alongside Ricky Horton. I'm Jim Hayes. Coming up, we'll take you back to Flushing for player reaction and Tony La Russa's post-game comments, and we'll break down Joel Pinero's start, plus the final first-round matchup in the Cardinals Tournament of Champions, as one more team will join our final 8. Before we get to all that, Ricky, your thoughts on what was a thrilling ball game?
Well, this was really a quick game, but that really wasn't good because when you look at what the starters did, Pinero and Santana, they didn't walk anybody, but the Cardinals were behind early, and it just seemed like at 7-4, you know, I have confidence in this team, but I really thought the game was over, 7-4. But the Cardinals rallied back, scored a ton of runs late, and they've got that quick strike power now with a lineup from top to bottom that is in sync. And really what Albert did today should kind of rest everybody's fears that Albert's not going to get it back. He got it back in a hurry.
Going into tonight's game, the Cardinals 4-41 when trailing after 7 innings, but the Cardinals had to come back in them tonight. Don't forget, Cardinal fans, it's U.S. Cellular text time. Text your questions to Rick and me to 432-432. Please include your first name and where you're texting from in your message. Standard text messaging rates do apply. We will answer them later on Cardinals Live. Let's get things started by heading back to the new Shea Stadium. A short time ago, Pat Paris catching up with Albert Pujols, our Mid-America Chevrolet dealer's player of the game. Pat?
I am with Albert Pujols. Albert, a little bit of talk about the slump you're in. Well, I guess there's no doubt you're feeling pretty good right now at the plate.
I mean, what can you say? I mean, sometimes you're going to see the ball good, sometimes you're going to have good at bats and miss some good pitch, you know. But you know what, man, I had a great first half. I mean, I wasn't expecting myself to go like that all year. I wish I can do it, but that's hard to do. I mean, there's so much talent in this game, you know, and this game is not easy. And this is what keeps you humble, you know, and make you work harder. I mean, I didn't come to the ballpark with my head down every day and try to say, oh man, another day on the park, I'm gonna struggle. I came down here and try to figure out my swing, take the swings that I had to take, you know, and just leave everything to God. Just the same way that I had success and cited, and the same way that he has blessed me the first half, I know he's going to continue to do that. So I just need to be humble and make sure that I go if I hang every day, no matter if I go 4 for 4, 5 for 5, or if I go 0 for 4. So and that's my main focus.
What does it say to about this team that you were able to come back like that against such a great closer?
It's awesome. I mean, Lugo had a great at-bat, and Shu obviously had an unbelievable at-bat right there to tie the game. You know, you can see the energies and see we got the Rosa, Julio, and Matt. You know, I mean, we're gonna give up, and you know, this has been the team that I've been in this organization for 9 years. That until you don't make 27 now, it's not over, and that's from 2001 to right now. You know, and adding a couple of weapons into our ball club obviously is gonna help us out to have more success. So I just thank God for giving me the opportunity to keep up, to pick up my teammates. But you need to give all the credit to Julio and Shu, you know, for having those great at-bat against one of the best closers in the game right now.
Is your leg okay?
Yeah, I just got a spike in my right leg. I went through the base, but it waked me up a little bit more.
Real quick, what is it with you and Grand Slams that you're 5 of them now?
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess, you know, I don't know. I don't change at all. I just try to hit the ball back to the middle, just like my every at-bat. and just make sure I trust my hand. And obviously, they being mistake and taking advantage every time.
Congratulations. Nice job tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. That's Albert Pujols. Jim, send it back to you and Rick.
Pat, thanks a lot. We go from the field to the broadcast booth. Dan McLaughlin, Al Roboski rejoin us now from Flushing to help us break down tonight's game, guys.
Okay, Jim, thanks. Obviously, big night out for Albert Pujols.
Well, outstanding night. Everybody was a little concerned about Albert, but Albert says it makes him work all the harder. In second at bat, he gets a base hit out to right. Next time, he hits a double down to left field. Then he gets his first home run out to center field. That's number 34. And then he caps it off with the big one, the grand slam, the 5th of this season. That's a franchise record, and his 11th of his career is a franchise record. What more can he do? And yes, he is. He did have a pretty good first half.
And we're on the air tomorrow at 10:30 with the pregame show as Kyle Loesch gets the start for St. Louis. Jim will preview that later in the show.
Ricky, that's how you get wins.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Look forward to hearing from you later on in the program. All right, the highlights of the ball game you just saw. Top of the second, Ryan Ludwig up with the bases empty. He celebrates being named the NL Player of the Month by taking Johan Santana deep. His 18th home run of the year. Cardinals go 1-0. Bottom half of the inning, bases juiced for the pitcher Santana. And Joel Pinheiro leaves one up, and Santana makes him pay. A double off the wall that will score 2. Mets go up 2-1. It's the first 2 RBI game of Santana's career. 3-1 now. Mets, top of the 4th. Ludwig up with Matt Holliday on. And this time Ludwig will crank one off the wall in right center. Holliday read it perfectly, and he will come all the way around to score. Lead is cut to 3-2. 68 RBIs for Ludwig. 2 batters later, Rick Ankiel is up. And watch what Ank does with this 0-2 pitch. He shoots it the opposite way. Ludwig comes around to score. Game tied at 3. Ankiel's 9th RBI in his last 10th game, in his last 10 games. Top of the 5th, Albert Pujols up with 2 outs. And he smokes a double to deep left center. He's really just getting started. Career double number 367 for Pujols. Ties him with Roger Hornsby for 4th on the Cardinals' all-time list. Next batter, Matt Holliday, and he will drop a little Texas leaguer into center. Pujols scores easily. Cards go up 4-3. His 11th RBI as a Cardinal. Bottom half of the 5th, Gary Sheffield up 2 on, and Sheff will lift a long fly ball to left center. A little communication, it looks like, problem between Holliday and Ankiel. Ball drops. 2 runners are going to come around to score. And the Mets go back on top, 5-4. Top of the 8th now. Pujols leading off. Bye-bye. Fly ball to deep center, and it lands right next to the apple. Hadn't homered since July 17th. Cards cut the lead to 7-5, his 35th homer of the year. Still 7-5, top 9. K-Rod on to close it out, but runs into some trouble. After a Rick Ankiel double, Julio Lugo's up, and he ropes a double. Cardinals cut the lead to 7-6. 2 batters later, Skip Schumacher comes up, and after falling behind 0-2, fights back and slaps a base hit. Game tied at 7. We're going to extra innings. Bases loaded now. Top 10. Sean Green will come on to pitch to Mark DeRosa. First pitch. First battery faces, and kerplunk. Bases are loaded, so that will push home a run, and the Cards go up 8-7. And then the real damaging blow. The next batter is Albert Pujols. Bases loaded, and he crushes a grand slam to bust this game wide open. His 5th grand slam of the season, 11th of his career. The Cardinals win this one 12-7 in 10 innings. And you look at a lot of guys pitching in here. Obviously, Pujols was the star of the game with a couple of round trippers, including the grand slam. Ludwig had a big game. Lugo had a huge hit that we showed you. And Pinheiro, who had been great over his last 5 starts, an ERA of just over 1.2, didn't have his best day.
He really wasn't sharp. Really, Santana wasn't either. They didn't walk anybody, so the game again was quick. But a lot of offense, a lot of hits in this game, 30 hits. And the Cardinals with 3 home runs in this game, Cat, just what goes to show you, you can hit home runs in any park. This is a ballpark that has not seen a lot of home runs. City Park in New York. Sheffield leads the club. He only has 10, but Pujols twice and Ludwig show that they had enough power to lead that yard.
And you know what else? You know, the talk has been, well, the Cardinals have been winning without Pujols doing a lot of damage. And tonight, DeRosa 0 for 5. He did get hit, and that was a key at bat that brought home the go-ahead run and highlighted a big hit, but he was just 1 for 6. This was Pujols' game. If we could get everyone hitting, it's going to be a lot easier than going to extra innings.
Well, there was enough guys hitting. You figure 15 hits in this game, and it was Albert. And we're going to focus on Albert because he was so spectacular. But really, that hit you mentioned, Lugo's hit late, was a big hit in this game. He had a couple of hits late, and so did Schumacher and Ankiel. I love the at-bats of Rick Ankiel. Now, one was an infield hit, but the way he hit the lefty the other way, I mean, so this was a really a good team effort. But we really do have to focus tonight on what Albert did because, you know, he really still is the guy that stirs the drink. As
and he was
Reggie
also
Jackson
the guy where people were like, "What's up with Albert?" Apparently,
well,
nothing.
people were concerned about it, and he, you know, I think he was pretty open about that with Pat Paris to say, you know, I can't do this ever. I'm going to go 0 for 4 sometimes, but he's just going to have to work his way out. And I think he worked out of it. Actually, in the context of this game tonight, I think he made an adjustment from at-bat number 1 to at-bat number 2.
Let's pick it up in the fourth and take a look at
Which I think actually helped him along the way. Here he is in the 4th inning, and he pulls off this pitch a bit, and he's just a little bit ahead. If you look at where his hips are, where his front leg is, he's kind of like a rounded look. He's a little bit ahead of this pitch. His hands are ahead of the ball. Santana's throwing him something off speed, and everything's just a little bit out front, and he's almost collapsed a little bit on the left side. And so this is Albert maybe just a little bit ahead of this pitch. But he certainly made an adjustment later on, and here he is taking the ball the other way. And I think that kind of got him jump-started. Now, again, Albert's not going to get all of his hits the other way, but I think he stayed on this pitch, saw it, kept his hands back, trusted his hands, was very quiet with his bottom half. Not a lot of movement there. It was just his hands to the ball, and he takes that ball the other way, and then the rest of the at-bats, he was just on fire, taking Mets pitchers deep twice. He also had a good at-bat with a walk in the 9th inning. But here's the first one in the 5th. This is a double. Gary Sheffield, not a lot of range there in left field, but that was a bullet down the left field line. And again, I think Albert's starting to feel it a little more with that double. And you mentioned he tied Rogers Hornsby. Rogers Hornsby may be the greatest right-handed hitter in the history of the game of baseball, and he tied him in doubles. And this, I don't know if Rogers Hornsby could hit a ball that far, although he was a pretty good home run hitter himself. But Albert takes one out to center, and again, this is a long ballpark. The ball does not carry very well at Citi Field, but Albert took that ball to dead center, and here's a pitch-by-pitch of that last at-bat. Fastball, now he's ahead 0-2, and he pulls that one foul, pulls another one. Actually, he did not pull that one. He hit it in the left center field, and that is home run number 2 on the game, and another grand slam for Albert. Are you kidding me? 5 in one season? That's a career's worth of grand slam.
Yeah, breaking news with the bases loaded. Albert Pujols is a very dangerous hitter. In fact, that's going to bring us to our Jack in the Box food for thought, where we're going to take a closer look at what Albert does with the bases loaded this season. Look at that. I mean, 7. It's like someone has made up those numbers.
Yeah, the slugging percentage, I don't even know what that means. I just don't think it's supposed to be over 2. But 24 RBIs in just that many at-bats, in 9 at-bats with the bases loaded. It's an incredible year for Albert. And again, his answer is, I'm not going to try to do anything different. But, you know, pitchers might be trying to do something different. I mean, you've got to be fearful of this guy, but with Matt Holliday hitting behind him, you've got to pitch to him, and obviously he is making pitchers pay. Are you kidding me?
No, seriously. 7 for 9 with the bases loaded with 5 homers. Are you kidding me?
That's like, those are numbers that, you know, you get at recess in 5th grade. I mean, that's, you know, if nobody can catch the ball and, you know, everybody hits home runs all the time. Those aren't major league numbers.
That ties a single season National League record with 5 grand slams this season. And guess what? Season's not over.
It's not.
And the question is, with the bases loaded, are we going to get to that point where we're not going to pitch, Albert? Coming up.
I think you have to.
Tony La Russa's reaction to a very good Cardinal win is next.
U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live is brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Believe in something better. And by Helitech. If your basement or crawl space leaks when it rains, heal your home with Helitech.
Big night for the Cardinals. They beat the Mets 12-7 in 10 innings. Let's head back to the Big Apple, where Tony La Russa met with the media a little while ago. It's brought to you by the Sheet Metal Workers, Local 36.
Well, I mean, it was a heck of a win, but a couple things make those special. Number one, you know, you got one of the great closers. He doesn't give one-run leads once or twice a year, and a two-run lead is. We were in a real bad position, had some great at-bats. And all year long, mostly Joel's been picking us up. So, I mean, it was a great team thing to get him one time and make him feel better.
Tony, how does it feel to win your 1200th game as a Cardinals manager?
I had no idea. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Clueless. I swear I had no idea.
Special way to win.
Well, yeah, I wish you'd have told me you had a crystal ball. I could have enjoyed it more, but that was a tough game. You falling behind, and you got Santana pitching, and they, like I said, turned it over to Rodriguez. Whew. That was a great win on club. You know, we scored a lot there towards the end, and that's a sign that we didn't quit.
You spent the last few days, and so is Albert, talking about Albert, and now he comes out and does that.
You know, I remember my quote, because anybody would say he's talented, he's smart, and he'll fix it. I mean, I think they're a combination of stuff that was accumulating there, and you know, hopefully, one game he can rest again Thursday, but he's too good. I mean, he's really good. So he fixed it tonight.
Is there a certain mentality with this team that you've had so many of these late inning comebacks this year, like tonight?
Well, we're getting better at it. You know, really, we had trouble in the ninth inning, but we've gotten a couple this way, and. I mean, I just think we have a very deep lineup where every inning we play, we have a chance. We have good hitters throughout the lineup, and that no matter who hits late, we got a chance. And everybody, I mean, Shu was very upset himself because he left the guy at third twice, but he don't get that base hit off Rodriguez, we lose. You know, Matt got one big hit the ball hard all night. Ludwig, you know, I mean, it was a good example of the depth of our lineup.
How much were you impressed with the bullpen? 5 innings, no runs, only 5 hits?
Well, I mean, we don't win, right? They give up anything, we don't win. And, you know, Wellemeyer especially, you know, he's been really working to get it, and today he made a lot of good pitches, took a step forward. Important. McClellan, you know, that's made an outstanding pitch there to strike out the hitter in the bottom of the ninth. That was too fast, other than a breaking ball, were outstanding, so he deserved the win. I'll tell you, the other guy had a great game was Lugo. He had some outstanding at-bats. You know, I mean, he got the base hit there, and he also got a couple off of Santana. I mean, he had, just terrific approaches and relentless kind of stuff that, you know, that's how you're a good hitter.
Tony, obviously, Pujols was the star of this game, but when you look at the lineup, other than DeRosa, who got on base hit by pitch, everyone got a hit. So does that make you really happy when you look top to bottom? Everyone got a hit there practically?
Well, I think it's a good example because, you know, we were behind that game. Because no matter how good your lineup is, when you have somebody good, really good like Santana, they get you out. But we have a chance if the pitcher makes a mistake or if he gets tired. You know, our lineup has gotten a lot deeper, and we have a better chance. Now, we still got to pitch and defend, but the offensive side, we're a better club.
Congratulations to Tony La Russa, career victory with the Cardinals anyway, number 1,200. And I thought he'd be a little bit more excited. Maybe he's worn out a long game.
Well, he probably was, but it was an exciting win for him to pick up number 1,200. A lot of heroes in this. He praised Todd Wellemeyer, talked about the work of Kyle McClellan, and he also talked about how hard it was to come back against the best closer, probably the best closer in the game in K-Rod. And the Cardinals, you know, you would think down 2 runs in the 9th inning, game's over, turn out the lights, but they managed some big hits late. And again, he praised Lugo for his hits, 3 hits in this game. It wasn't just Albert.
Almost lost, and Tony mentioned it, in the offensive fireworks tonight, the work of Todd Wellemeyer. A couple of scoreless innings for Todd. We'll look at that next on Cardinals Live. We flash back July 26th of last year. Cardinals at the Mets. Skip Schumacher becomes the first Cardinal in 70 years to collect 6 hits in a game. Skip was 6 for 7. It was a tight ball game. But that would change. Tied at 8. In the 14th, Albert Pujols steps up to the plate.
Pujols launches one left center. There it goes. A 2-run shot for Albert here in the 14th. Number 19. We could go home.
Damage last year and damage tonight. Our United States Postal Service delivery of the game. And it's Albert once again. Cardinals had the lead in the 10th, 8-7. Bases were loaded, and Albert, his 5th grand slam of the season. Albert's in pretty good company too, doing a lot of damage, but single season grand slam leaders: Travis Hafner, 6, Albert Pujols, 5, behind Don Mattingly, 87. Ernie Banks and Jim Gentile as well. That's pretty good company, but Albert has a flair for the dramatic. Something happens to him when the bases are loaded.
Been incredible. He ties the National League record. He's one away from those 2 American leaguers ahead of him.
How about Albert Pujols? How about Ryan Ludwig? He did some damage tonight. We'll look at what Ryan has done. Player of the month. That's next.
U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live is brought to you by Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? And by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day, like a burger for breakfast or French toast sticks at midnight.
Ryan Ludwig today named the National League Player of the Month for July. In 27 games last month, Ludwig hit .340 with 6 home runs and 28 RBIs. He averaged in RBIs for the most of any month of Ludwig's career. Cardinals right fielder also walked 10 times and had an on-base plus slugging percentage of .966. Not too shabby. And Ryan kept it going tonight, no longer in July, where the numbers were pretty startling. But Ryan was outstanding tonight. You see Ryan in the top of the second. Smoke. It's gone number 18 for him.
And that's off Santana. That was the first pitch. He just jumped on it. Sometimes Ludwig does that. He's feeling so comfortable that he's not going to let a pitcher get deep into a count. And he took the first pitch he saw from Santana into left field, and he takes this pitch over the center fielder's head. This Park barely held him on that one. That's a lot of distance for Ryan Ludwig.
And keep in mind, Santana was 8-2 at home with an ERA of 1.6. This guy was pitching and dealing at home, and Ludwig got to him.
And you think the way he throws off-speed pitches, Ludwig might have some trouble with him, because if you make a good off-speed pitch, you can get Ludwig off balance and then throw him the high fastball. I mean, he's hard to pitch to, yes, but a guy like Santana, you'd think he'd be able to handle Ryan Ludwig, but not tonight. Really, Santana didn't handle the Cardinals lineup very well at all. He made some mistakes. Ankiel took an 0-2 pitch the other way, and it wasn't vintage Johan Santana, and that was good news for the Cardinals.
You know, when you look at what Ryan Ludwig has done this year, you know, he had the injury and the numbers weren't there, and I'm sure the pressure had to get to him, but he wasn't worried because when he's been healthy, he's always produced at every level. And now we're starting to see the numbers come around. He's hitting .269, 18 homers, 68 RBIs. Right now, he's kind of right around where you think he should be.
He's where he should be, and I think after coming off the injury, there are many folks that think maybe he started playing too much too often, and his timing wasn't right. And he is a timing guy. He does a lot of movement. When you watch him in his stance, he goes back, forth, back, forth. I mean, you know, he makes you a little dizzy watching him hit. So there's a lot of timing issues with Ludwig, and when his timing's off, he can have some bad at-bats. And so right after that injury, when his timing wasn't good, a lot of 0 for 4 nights, but lately he has been on fire. Congratulations for being the Player of the Month in the month of July, and here's to much of the same here in August.
And in all seriousness, you look at the Cardinals lineup with Ludwig hitting, with Pujols hitting, and the new additions. I mean, there's no holes there.
The new guys have been great, and I continue to say that Rick Ankiel is like a new guy. I mean, he really is. He's a guy that's a threat now. Picked up a couple of hits today, 2 or 3, had 3 hits today. A couple that he hit hard, 1 that he didn't, but 3 that counted. And Rick Ankiel is now giving good at-bats. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter. Still has the potential to strike with the home run, and he's got that short compact swing now, not the long, loopy, almost three-part swing that we saw a month or so ago. And so I just think he's like having another new guy.
Agreed. And, you know, he had that long, loopy swing, partially, you have to believe, because he had the weakness in the shoulders. So, all right, let's do our starters comparison brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Not a great night for either starting pitchers. Pinheiro was very good going into this one. Had 10 straight games where he allowed 3 earned runs or less. You can't get more consistent. Remember, this is not your number 1, your number 2, really your number 3 when Moshe's help. This is your number 4. And I always say, because he's been on quite a roll, look at that smile. That's a smile of a guy who says, oh, it's a contract year. And on the other hand, Johan, who was great at home. I mentioned the ERA of 1.6, 8-2 record, pitching in New York.
Both of them were not sharp. There's no doubt about it. Both of them weren't sharp. We didn't see the best of Pinheiro. And, you know, not all of his pitches were necessarily up in the zone, but he didn't really have his good sinker that was breaking down at the last minute, good hard sinker. And so he got hurt a lot. That pitch about thigh high, taken the other way. A lot more balls in the air, in the outfield than we're used to seeing against Joel Pinheiro. You know, there are a couple of times he minimized the losses a little bit, but still ended up giving up 7 runs and 11 hits. And good thing he didn't walk anybody again. There's another pitch, breaking ball, this time up in the zone. This is going to end up being a sacrifice fly that carries to left, and that again is part of a 2-run 4th inning.
We were talking about this during the game. Usually when Pinheiro's on the mound, it's ground ball, and we're seeing guys elevate in this game, which we hadn't seen. And you're saying that that's not necessarily location, means the sinker wasn't dropping off the tape.
Yeah, it's not just it's location is part of it, but there were guys that were going down to get a ball that wasn't sinking sharply. And I saw that a couple of times, particularly left-handers will do that. There's one right there. He goes down and gets a ball that's about, you know, shin high, and hits a fly ball. Well, how can he do that? You say the location's down, but the issue is it didn't have that late, sharp movement that we're used to seeing out of Pinheiro, and you're going to get some swings and misses on that pitch when it breaks, and really it's got to break, you know, that much in front of home plate when the guy thinks it's going to be thigh high and all of a sudden it's shin high. But this one had a little bit lazier break, late break down in the zone, so left-handers were able to go down and get it, hit the ball hard, and elevate it.
8 ground outs, 6 flyouts for Pinheiro, not the usual ratio for Joel.
Still, he's been great. I mean, you got to love his body of work.
Absolutely. And a big night for Todd Wellemeyer. He, in fact, is our king of the hill.
Oh, he's going to love to hear that. He's going to love to hear he's our king of the hill.
Came in and released 2 scoreless innings. Well, he needed it.
And these are 2 scoreless innings late in the game on the road. You know, I'm not going to say the guy was Cy Young today, but good building block for Todd Wellemeyer to throw up a couple of zeros. Gave up just 1 hit. He did walk 2 guys, but more. I would say he threw more quality pitches in those 2 innings than we've seen from him in a long time. His first relief appearance, he threw 5 pitches out of the pen, and 2 of them were hangers. And I didn't really see any hangers today. Saw some pitches off the zone, in and out, but for the most part, he was pretty sharp.
Todd Wellemeyer, when he's on his game, is a great addition to the pitching staff. What he did last year, setting a career high in wins, his first full season as a starter, never really found what he had last year this season at all. Maybe baby steps. Tony said he did take a big step forward tonight.
Well, he's got it for his psyche, if anything else, because, you know, at some point you're standing on the mound and you're thinking, what else can go wrong? I mean, that's really where you get to, where you start expecting bad things to happen. And so a good experience tonight for Todd Wellemeyer might be the kind of thing to get him over the hill, to get him going in a positive direction. You know, it'd be nice for the Cardinals to find some right-hander to pitch in the 7th and 8th innings. We keep talking about if there's any hole in this team, it's what happens from the right side in the 7th and the 8th inning. You know, is that going to be Kyle McClellan? Is it going to be Jason Mott? Is it going to be Wellemeyer? I mean, there's a few candidates that could be, but, you know, not quite sure who that guy is yet. The lefties have been good, and certainly Franklin's been great.
Cardinal pitchers got a big helping hand from Yadier Molina today. Yadi was bringing the heat, brought to you by Taco Bell's new Volcano menu. It's seriously spicy. Yadi was on the mark.
Well, he was bringing the heat on that one from his knee. Are you kidding me? He's throwing out a runner from his knee, and he did it twice today. 2 throwouts at second base on caught stealing, and you wonder if maybe they forgot to see who won the Gold Glove last year, the Mets. They were trying to run themselves into some more, into bigger innings, because this is a team that's had trouble scoring runs. Now, we got to say, the Mets are missing most of their team. This is the Mets' second team we're playing here, and that's why they're not having a very good season. But you still like the way the Cardinals came back to win this. They still have David Wright in the lineup and Sheffield and others. So this is obviously still a big league team. But the Mets, the Mets are still underachieving if you look at their record. But you wouldn't say that if you throw the injuries in.
Pounding. They've been pounded by injuries. You can't feel.
Yeah.
You just got to. It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
You stop in New York to play the Mets that are banged up. Pittsburgh has pretty much shed themselves a major league.
You kick
go
them when
there.
they're down.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no question. Well, you don't have. No, you don't. They don't feel sorry for you when your guys are hurt. And whether you play the Astros. Hey, I like Lance Berkman's one of my favorite players in the National League, and I'm okay with him being on the disabled list until the Cardinals don't play him anymore. I mean, I don't want him to be hurt, but if he's gonna be hurt, I'd rather him be not playing against the Cardinals and playing against somebody else. But you can't worry about that. You can't feel sorry for him. You just have to go out and beat him.
It is U.S. Cellular text time. Jake in St. Anne has a text. Check out the fan behind home plate when Pujols hits the grand slam. Can we do that? Do we have the technology?
I didn't know that. I bet we have the technology.
We do have
I'm guessing we do. The fan behind home plate. There he is. Albert hits a long one, and the fan. How about that? Look at that face.
He's done that quite a bit. I honestly, if you're at the game and you're behind home plate, you're going to be thrilled, especially for a Cardinal fan. But, I mean, let's be honest. Are you surprised anymore at what Albert does?
You shouldn't be surprised.
Particularly with the bases loaded?
He should have just yawned. He should have yawned is what he should have done.
7 for 9 with the bases loaded.
You can't get over that, can you?
Home runs. That is unbelievable.
That's 777, by the way, is that batting average.
Say again?
777, he said.
778 if we're rounding up, which I think we do in this country. It's a metric system.
We don't round up here on Cardinals.
We got more to come on this edition of U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live. When we come back, it's the Cardinals Tournament of Champions. We'll see guys like that guy, Jimmy Edmonds. It's all straight ahead.